What I'm on here for about is Queen Sheba.
Say that louder now, 'cause we don't get to hear it often. Say it louder. What I said, honey, we ain't never afraid to stand on business. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, y'all. It's never personal. It's never personal because in every I'm gonna just say, like, if somebody even insults you, there's still the possibility of a seed of opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So it's never personal on I said what I said. And get into you don't even have to wait for our hot topics. Sometimes we can all be long-winded and we go down a rabbit hole, but if the audience decides they ain't trying to hear that, they can put a $9.99 super chat down to kind of pull you off the platform. Well, Queen Sheba, how will I know? How will I know if he really loves me? Hey, this is how you'll know if they're not feeling you. If you see this sad white man pop up in the middle of your conversation, if you see that nice little white man pop up while you talking, baby, somebody done put $9.99 down on a super chat to boot you off of your spot. Listen, it don't end there, because if you got that money comes to me flowing effortlessly, shit, put yourself back on the block like Big Brother around here, but except it's in the palace, and you can finish by saying, I said what I said, okay? It always tickles you. Welcome, Cinnamon Swirl, to Saturday morning. I said what I said. What you standing on, Queen?
Hey, good morning, Queen Sheba and Palace and viewers and listeners, people in the bushes. I just want to say there's a BAN out there by the name of Anthony Lofties, because I'm going to put a name on it. He's so busy watching what Queen Sheba's doing and what Melody is doing, and they are working the hell out of you, BAN. What have you sold for $1 million? What tune, since you want to sit there and say she can't sing, I want to know, what $1 million song have you ever written, sung, performed in, etc.? I'm waiting. I'm going to wait for you to answer us, because I want to know. It's her passion to sing, and she's making money off them singles. So I want to know, and I'm going to wait for you to answer my question. What have you ever sold $1 million, downloaded, sold, etc.? What have you ever done $1 million of anything, Anthony Lofties? And I said what the hell I said.
Bruh. We'll wait. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's something that votes.
You need to bring it out. Bring it out, bruh. We'll be waiting, because you got so much to say. You got so much to say. And I dare say Queen Sheba has outsold you with her queen and merchandise. So we need to see some receipts, since you got so much mouth, bruh. You and your fan base of wannabe women over there. We waiting for the receipts, bruh. We waiting. And I said what I said again.
Damn. Bruh. They waiting. Listen, you waiting for it. Let me ask you this. If he drop it, you buying it?
Hell no. I'm waiting because there ain't none out there. Also for Destiny Lachey Payton, who got Melody Cherie Rogers all up in her mouth all season long. Every interview you do, you got so much to say. What have you done lately, baby? What have you ever done? We waiting for those receipts also. And I said what I said. Destiny Lachey Payton. Because Melody is singing the hell out of you, dancing the hell out of you, singing the hell out of you. So what have you done, Destiny? And I'm going to wait for those receipts also. And I said what I said.
Damn. Cinnamon Swirl did not come to play, honey. She came to slay, and she said what the hell she said. And speaking of standing on business and saying what you said, listen, let me go ahead and spin the block on myself. Again, all items are available at QueenShiba with an I.com, QueenShiba.com. Listen, don't play with us, because we over here working our ass off, and not just me, but also the people in the palace. Ladies, don't forget, we have the canvas tennis shoes. Listen, I rock my own shit, and I was looking cute as hell this week. Listen, we got the pause hats, we got the pause t-shirts, y'all. Pause. We got white and green, we got pink and green, and I design all of my things right from the color scheme, with the exception of my logos when I commission out business to other graphic designers. But with all of that, I am the creative piece. When it comes to all of that, I have an eye for that. And so just make sure you head on over to queenshiba.com. And like Cinnamon Swirl said,
and outperform them. While you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And you will lose and I will win.
wow, listen. The proof is in the motherfucking pudding. I ain't got time, baby. You got to be a worthy opponent. But I said what I said. Everything's available on queenshiba.com from my YouTube ebook for those of you that are not able to get in the class yet. And speaking of my YouTube brand acceleration, we are rocking and rolling. We are almost near the first cohort. And baby, when I tell you the students are on fire, they are on fire. The second class will drop the second week of July. You don't need my permission. It's available on queenshiba.com. You can also go over there and enroll yourself in that class. And with that being said, I thought I had some more stuff that I wanted to drop today, but maybe not. Maybe I forgot to upload it. But thank you, Cinnamon Swirl, for standing on your motherfucking BIEs.
You're
In the
welcome.
words of Lil Scrappy.
You're welcome. And also, I can second that emotion. I'm in that current class. Hey, if you need a little bit of push, if you need some education, if you need to know the tricks of the trade, why not get it from the best and the best of the best? Go ahead and sign up for that class because I'm getting ready to drop it like it's hot real soon.
You better. And listen, we do have payment plans available. You don't have to inbox me. You don't have to email me. Everything is set up. We're professionals over here. You're good to go. Log on queenshiba.com and just have yourself a good old time while we're here on Saturday morning. I said what I said. Yeah, we're talking about taking your brand to the next level, which is why I purposely called it brand acceleration, period, point blank. Now, let me move on, y'all. Let me move on, honey. Hold on, give me 1 second. Listen, if nobody else is going to come up, I am going to skip to the hot topic of the day. I've been researching and looking up some stuff, and y'all, what you say to Latrice? Drop it like it's hot. That's what we doing. Welcome to Saturday morning. I said what I said. Charlotte Loring, what you standing on? You went on mute, Charlotte. You got the floor.
Good morning, Queen Sheba in the palace. I'm standing on pause.
Ooh.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You got the floor. Go ahead. You got the floor. Go ahead.
All these people out here that are hating on Queen Sheba. Can you hear me?
Just keep talking. We can hear you. Keep going. Come on. I'm trying to let you cook. Go, Charlotte.
They're hating on Queen Sheba. They need to take a pause. And they need they really need to take a pause because you are the queen of YouTube. And they need to stop talking about you. And we love you. And Anthony Lofty, he needs to get off of YouTube. We are so sick of him wanting to be Melanie, wanting to be everybody else.
Can you sign it, seal it, and deliver it? Don't forget where you at, baby.
I said what I said.
All
and
right.
I meant what I said.
She said what she said. And And just as a reminder for those of you that are coming up, make sure you mute any audio that you have in the background as you're relaxing on this beautiful Saturday, as you're playing it on your television, playing it on a different device. Therefore, you come through loud and clear with minimum to little disruption. And at the end of the day, remember, it's Saturday. I said what I said, baby. Don't make me beg. Just sign it, seal it, and deliver it. So I appreciate you coming up, Charlotte. I appreciate the love. We appreciate you here in the palace, and you have a beautiful Saturday. All right, y'all. So I am going to drop that link one more time. And if not, it is time for hot topics. Listen, I found a couple of items that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about kicking it with Court. I see you, girl. Happy Saturday. Jessica, welcome to Saturday. Welcome to Saturday morning. I said what I said. Jessica, what are you standing on?
Good morning, Queen and Palace. I want to stand up with the previous caller said, the pause. When you first said it, it really touched my heart because lately I just been wanting to go off and cuss somebody out. But I'm like, Lord, that was my New Year's resolution to stop cussing. And my page is a lot of Christian content, so I can't really do what I want to do. But some days when hear y'all talking, I just feel free to just let it out. But that pause is really like guided me because I don't want to mess up my life cussing out the wrong person. And I've been asking the Lord to guide my tongue. Anything that He doesn't want me to say, I don't want to say. Guide my, order my steps. But I just appreciate you for telling us and teaching us to pause because we take for granted life some days and moments. But that pause has really kept me because I've been wanting to go off. And as I told you last time I came up, I said, we ride at dawn, Queen Sheba. You are the bomb.com. God has you. He's covering you. And that's why the devil's after you, because he sees the good stuff you're trying to do in this world. And I just love you. And I love the palace and just this community that you have created. I just so appreciative to you. And I look forward to every time you post something, you go live. I go like, I can't do nothing else. I got to listen to what Queen Sheba got to say. And I said what I said. Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay, and she said, I was just talking to her, I was on mute, and she said what she said, and I just wanted to just reaffirm that and tell you, thank you for standing in the gap, on the behalf of the palace, because that's what it takes. Everybody to remind everybody, give a little nudge, a side eye, and be like, hey, remember who the fuck we are. Excuse my, you can't curse, but I'm a curse for you. And that's what it's about. Remembering who the fuck we are over here and not coming down off of our blessings. So you know what I mean? Waddle in the mud with pigs. That's not what we're doing. But I will if you come knocking at my gates. And when you come knocking at my gates, that means you've done what you've done. You've crossed the line. I don't give a damn why you feel like you can cross that line, but it's on from here. But I really appreciate the men and the women that are really working to become better, that are really working to remind each other, just pause, because this too shall pass. It has to. It has to. And I'm just pulling up all kind of pause merchandise. I told y'all I got y'all. Y'all, we got some cute stuff when we think about pause. Hey, and if it's hard for you to remember, go on and get your hat. Go on and get your hat. We got green. We got everything. Y'all go on and get these cute little hats I got for y'all and t-shirts so you can remember. I just need to pause. I just need to pause. And with that being said, hold on. Let me bring up the next person because we got a hell of a line on people ready to stand on business. And I appreciate it. With that being said, Aunt Natty, welcome to Saturday morning. I said what I said. What are you standing on, Queen?
Good morning, beautiful Queen and Palace.
Good
I'm
morning.
standing on this demon seed, Martell Hope, now on the DNA test. Ninja, please. When you want a part of Sugar Mama's line, you didn't want a DNA test.
Wow.
You are mentally and emotionally not only abusing their mother, but these children. How dare you claim a baby made out of wedlock and now want a DNA test on Sugar Mama? I hope they build a jail on top of this ninja. He needs psychological, mental, all of it. Ninja, I wish I was Mel's 13th cousin. Queen Sheba, I'm trying to learn how to pause. I'm working on it. But this ninja just grind my gizzards. and I said what I said.
Ever diagnosed with any type of like mental illness or any type of diagnosis, any type of learning disability, anything like that?
I have a crazy problem.
Oh,
Are you there?
and talkative, I went out. Thank you, Aunt Natty, for holding it down and standing in the gap for Melody Cherie. We appreciate you, talkative. Welcome to Saturday morning. I said what I said. What you standing on?
Good morning. I'm ready. My name is Words Do Matter. I don't know why it switched to my account name. I don't know what that's about. But good morning, Queen. Good morning, Palace. Good morning, everybody. I was listening to your commentary on episode 4 of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and you were dead on about Nell and Martell in that scene. But the one thing I also noticed is that he got pissed off at Nell because she was the only one in the cast at that time that called it Revenge P. She didn't. Everybody else is like, oh, it's just a text, it's domestic harassment, whatever they was terminating, whatever terminology they use. But Mel straight up said, she said you put out revenge porn on her. And she said it to him more than once. That's why he attacked her. And that's why when Chris met up with him, Chris also used, I think he alluded to it or referred to it as revenge porn. And then you're right. He's a narc and he was narking and he thought he had that whole cast under control and was nobody going to verbalize it like that. But she said it and that pissed him off. That's why he attacked her. And he should be ashamed of himself attacking that woman like that. When she counseled them, right, wrong, or indifferent, I believe she called herself trying to help them. She may not have had the skills. When I counseled my niece and her husband, I never went back and told each one what the other said because I wanted the focus to stay on them. I wanted each one to focus on what they did to create the situation, instigate it, prolong it, make it bigger. So whenever they would try to talk about the other one, I would bring it back around to them. And I never did repeat what the other said. So you dead on with that. She shouldn't be doing that. But he was pissed that she put that revenge porn on.
And can you sign it? Y'all don't make me.
I said what I said.
There you go. Thank you, talkative. I appreciate it. She said what the hell she said. Thank you for coming up on Saturday morning. We appreciate you, Queen. We appreciate you.
It's all just right. One more thing I want to say is that jealousy is another word for hatred. And it seems to me that jealousy is driving all these attacks and chaos and friction on YouTube. That's all it is. You got people that don't know how to focus and achieve, attacking the ones that do. And that's the same situation with the cast. They are all attacking Melanie because they don't know how to elevate themselves like she does. And that is what angers them. And so they're going after her fan base simply because they don't have the skills, the drive, the motivation, the creativity. They don't have any of that. That's what Destiny, Latif, none of them can touch y'all. And that's all it is. The same thing with Anthony. And I said what I said.
All right. Thank you for coming up. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And she said what she said. All right, y'all. We are moving on down the road. Welcome to the stage. I'm going to drop you down, talkative, bring up Hershey. Hershey, welcome to the stage. Saturday morning. I said what I said. What are you standing on? Hershey, you on mute. And welcome to the stage. Saturday morning. I said what I said. What you standing on, Queen?
Oh, hey.
You got the floor.
I'm standing on.
There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm standing on I'm crying in a Kia, and I don't have no motion, baby. I so sweet.
I need you to sign it. I need you to seal it and deliver it. Can you sign it, seal it, and deliver it?
And I said what I said.
Ah, she said what the hell she said. She said she crying in the Kia, period.
I swear it don't make any sense. I love y'all. I love you, Queen, and the Palace. I love Mel and everything. And y'all do not bother nobody. It just, that's what irks me when people are like, oh, they messy. But y'all literally don't bother nobody. And every time these people come for y'all, they end up embarrassing themselves.
Come on now.
And I'm hollering, and I just have a good cackle. I'm sorry. I have a cackle. And so that's done with that LGB, okay, little grown boy. But Destiny, I'm gonna need you to come up with something else. Like seriously, I'm gonna need you to come up with something else, because we didn't hear anything about DV all the seasons that you was on before. Now, I'm not saying LeBaric is perfect, because he looked like he could be a little sneaky. That's just to me. So I'm not saying he's totally innocent, but I don't believe that there was no DV. And the documents I saw, you were the aggressor. So I'm not saying that everything is always what is out there, but honey, you look like you done threw grits on a man or two, and I'm not even gonna hold you. Okay, it might have been a reason. I don't know. I'm just saying you look like the type. So stop it. Stop trying to use DV to try to turn everybody against Mel, because she's not supporting you. Mel don't talk about you. Get a life. Do something else. Find something else to talk about. Because Mel is literally paying you dust, Dusty. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And I said what I said. Stop changing your story. Find you some business. Get you a real job. Take care of you and your boy, your little boy. Put your big girl panties on, because obviously no man out here gonna take care of you. Because like Moses said, you probably not wife material. Okay, let it go. Bye. Just let it go. And I said what I said.
Girl, they playing the Taco Bell sound. Listen, all right.
And I'm out. Love y'all. Peace out.
Thank you, Hershey, for coming up and standing on business. Listen, she said what the hell she had to say. And with that being said, y'all, I am going to transition into my beautiful super chats that are flowing through, and we're going to shift to hot topics this morning. Give me one second. You know, we got to get this party started right with positive affirmations. And here we go.
Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me, comes to me. Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me. Money.
All right. Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. The Aset Noir standing on business, baby. She coming through. Tops drop, pumps. I mean, what is it? Trunks popped with a 20-piece and a pepper. She said, just say no to Dicky Doo disease. I said what I said. Dicky Doo disease. Just say no to the Dicky Doo disease. Listen. Where have you been? Nobody loves me. Somebody's mama coming through with a 5-piece and a pepper says, you don't have to go to every fight you are invited to. Pause. Just because you are mad don't mean I'm mad. Let folks argue with themselves. I said what I said. Listen, queens, that resonates. That hit hard. Thank you, somebody's mama. Thank you, the Aset Noir. We appreciate you. Priority panelist, kicking it with Courtney, is in the building, y'all. Welcome, Courtney, to Saturday morning. I said what I said. Queen, yes. Thank you for coming through. What you standing on today?
Hey, Queen. Hey, Palace. I don't really have much. I knew you were about to transition to hot topics, and I was just coming up to, kick it with you all.
Yes.
But Queen, I told you in your comments, they say he was mad when that camera turned to that Kia.
Listen.
And the Kia was taking over for the 99s. and 2000s. You can tell by a steering wheel.
Mm.
You can tell when you look at a steering wheel if it's, upgraded, updated, or if it's a little, older. No shade to anyone with an older Kia, but it was giving 99s and 2000s.
Listen, girl, you're working with the ass, yeah. Hey, listen, you see how God will spin the block for you? Yeah.
God will spin the block effortlessly. Do you hear me?
And then somebody put up a picture. He listen, ain't no way in the world. I'm gonna be, you know what? Let me be quiet. Ain't no way in the world. I'm gonna be talking shit from a Kia. Not until I come up. That's just me though. That's just me. And I listen, but a Kia sounds about right. That sounds about right.
It's fitting. It's very fitting. It all makes sense. It was a full circle moment. It fits. It gave what it was supposed to give. The Kia gave what it was supposed to give, honey.
Listen, the studio is on fire. Listen, I would have never thought. I would have. Listen.
Yeah, I'm just cracking up. That was funny. That was a moment.
To yourself. Because every time you open your mouth, you lose. And that's the crazy part. I ain't even had to strike back yet. Nothing. And that's just the beauty of I guess, a Kia and all of that, how God works. But honey, that was hilarious to me. That was absolutely hilarious, Courtney. I'm sorry.
It was everything, Queen. So, I just came, like I said, I'm just up here to talk a little trash and, see what you got coming for hot topics.
Okay, well, I'm ready to jump into hot topics. Give me 1 second, y'all. I want to promote real quick. Y'all, we had a hell. Courtney, was you back? Nah, you weren't backstage last Sunday.
No, last Sunday, where was I?
And y'all behind the wall. It be on and popping. So listen, we have, let me get it up for y'all. It be on and popping. So on Sundays, we have what are called at 11:35 a.m. We have what are called Sunday sessions. Baby, you don't need permission to come. Just pull up if you are a member of the Palace. And when I tell you, it's basically your opportunity to call in, to ask questions and get it off your chest. And our priority panelists do the job. And they did a hell of a job last Sunday. They walk you through. It's almost like Dear Palace, right? And it's everything. We had a hell of a time. So it's called Sunday Session. You pull up. You don't have to have your camera on. You're safe. You're behind the wall. And the priority panelists and the queen will do our best to walk you through it. Always be cute, says my Jeep, and I beep, beep, beep at that old Kia. Listen. So I will see y'all tomorrow behind the wall at 11:35 a.m. Minky Finky says, I listened to the replay, getting my garden together. It was great. Court, you better be there tomorrow. You better be there tomorrow. It was good. All right, let's go back.
I'm in there tomorrow.
Okay,
at
11:35.
I wanted to add one more thing. I know you transitioning. One more thing.
Oh no, you can.
I hope that those $4.99 super chats are going to a down payment because I want to see the upgrade coming. I hope those super chats are helping the down payment on a new Kia. That's all.
Yeah. Listen to the sounds of my heart, the melodies I start. Y'all, if you don't know, good looking out, God. We appreciate you. Nita Bug, welcome to Saturday morning. I said what I said. What you standing on?
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on clearing out the ignorant people out of my life. I am standing on business, point blank, period.
Okay, we listening. You done? If you done, make sure you said, and I said what I said.
Well, I said what I said. I'm just thankful to be here, Queen. I love what you do. I
Mhm.
love your commentary because you be on it.
I think your audio went out. And her
Oh,
audio. Okay, there you go. Stay close to your device and stay close to your mic and repeat what you said. We want to make sure we hear you.
oh, I said I love your commentary. I love what you do.
Oh, thank you. We
Yes,
appreciate you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I send you little things just to let you know that I love you and I am so grateful.
Well, thank you. And I'm sending you love back. I appreciate you pulling up and just standing on business with me, Queen. Thank
Yes,
you. Need a
ma'am.
hug.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
Okay, we will. And we will see you later on in the chat, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, y'all, that's Nita Bug. Y'all make sure y'all show her some love in that chat. And we're going to finish these super chats off and get this party started with these hot topics. Here we go.
I need $131. So I can go ahead and pay for my phone bill online instead of going into the store and paying it. If y'all don't support me, if y'all don't, you know what I'm saying, then that's okay. I'ma just not even ask anymore. I'ma just not even be on Instagram. Y'all not gonna hear from me ever again. Y'all not gonna hear from me no more.
Y'all heard Shamar. I need $131. I need $131 to pay my phone bill online. And with that being said, listen, help is on the way. Money, 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 money comes to me by way of Tawana, Oppressing Women's Network on OWN with a 20-piece and a pepper. She says, see, this is why F's with thy palace, with thy palace. Thank you, Tawana. And that's why we F with you. Yes, Deborah Valentine, standing on business. She sent one lucky recipient a Queen Sheba Darling membership. Congratulations to the person that was blessed to receive that tithe and that offering, honey. We appreciate it. Too blessed for you, baby, coming through with a 2-piece and a pepper. She says, I'm hanging in the tree by my wig laughing. Girl, don't lose your wig, baby, because ain't you going out tonight? Don't lose your wig. Too blessed for you. We appreciate you coming through the palace, baby. Miss Blackberry, hold on. Bringing up the rear, popping trunks in this motherfucker with a 5-piece and a pepper. She says, happy Saturday, Queen Sheba, mods and palace. Happy Saturday to you, girl. You getting your nails done or did, or are you just at home cleaning up? Let me ask y'all something, because I got into a debate with my best friend. My best friend. This is for my panelists. Kicking it with Courtney is always your priority panelist. You get first dibs. Let me ask y'all something. Are y'all cleaning on Saturdays or Sundays? Because the way I was raised, we clean on Saturdays. Court, what you doing?
I usually I clean on Saturdays. Sunday is like a rest day.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's
Sunday
what
is
I
for rest.
thought.
Get up early Saturday morning, get the house together, make sure everything's smelling good. All the laundry's done.
Okay, because they
Dusting.
tripping out here. I be seeing Sundays all. I'm like, Sunday? That's the day you rest and relax. But they saying they cleaning on Sundays now. Court, we got a few Saturdays. Now, let me ask y'all. Is it old school folks that clean on Saturdays? When did it switch to Sunday? I didn't get the memo. Cinnamon?
Okay, so I'm old school and I was taught to clean on Saturday. We put Soul Train on, and after Soul Train went off, then my mom had the record player with the 45s and the albums playing, and we cleaned. But me, myself, I started to clean on Thursday nights as I got older because my Sabbath is Saturday. So I don't clean, I don't cook, I don't do much on Saturday. But Thursday is when I get it done
Okay. But we
because
was
I
so
don't
a
want to
lot of
spend my
Saturdays are coming
weekend.
through. Okay, but go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't want to spend my weekends doing housework. The weekends is for you to relax, time to yourself. And I don't want to spend my weekends cleaning. So I started that about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I just remember Al Green playing in the background. Love and happiness. Shit,
Hmm
you better get that broom and that mop and hit them baseboards and make it do what it do. So now this generation talking about they clean on Sundays. I wish I would. Okay, April, October says, I clean during the week so I can enjoy the entire weekend. Now, how do y'all manage, for those of you that clean during the week, how do y'all manage to keep your house clean with kids and stuff? Or is it just you?
Well, when my kids were younger, I'm a neat freak. See, my mother was a real neat freak, so I'm a neat freak, and so I clean as I go. I never let my house get a mess. So even with when the kids were younger, they had to clean up after themselves. There was some
Or how you
cleaning
keep yours
machines.
clean with them kids, like with kids, because I know my dogs be messing up stuff.
You called me queen?
Uh-huh.
My children, I have a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old. So I don't really have an issue with like picking up after them. Now, smaller kids, when they were smaller, I'm trying to remember. I think maybe like Cinnamon Swirl, just clean as you go. But now my kids are kind of older, so they know what's to be done, and they know their chores, they know what to do. So I don't really have an issue with going behind them and having them clean up. I have
Okay.
older children.
Now, let me ask y'all this real quick. For those with a man in the house. Okay. And boys, do y'all make them boys clean up? And if so, what responsibilities on cleaning day do the males in the home have? Those of you in the chat, what responsibilities do the men or the males in the house have during cleaning day? I'm curious because everybody run their shit different.
Okay, so for me, I never touch the trash. And outside cleaning of the house is done by the males. My sons, their bedroom had to be spotless. They had their own bathroom, so their bathroom had to be spotless. Now, I did come behind them when they were younger and clean, but I made them clean. They had to learn to clean.
Okay.
Now, my
Okay.
husband was
Perfect.
a different story. He just take out the trash and that's it. That was a grown man. I couldn't train, but he didn't do much but watch. So.
Damn.
Okay, so I probably have like the opposite of most people. My son, actually, his responsibility is the entire kitchen and like along with the trash, dishes, the oven, everything. That's the kitchen is his responsibility. I have my daughter, the living room is her responsibility. The bathroom, they alternate. So my kids, it's kind of opposite right now, but that's because my son is older and because my daughter is 9. I mean, she does, but I just feel like he's more equipped to do the dishes, to make sure that they're clean and put back properly over my 9-year-old.
I love it. Okay, everybody's contributing. I love it. And I'm gonna read some of these comments that I picked up on. They're joining us panel with comments from the chat. Fames 308 says the boys clean their own bathrooms. When Kita Elevates says yes, the boys clean, the men or the males in the house. They got to do the bathroom, the dishes, and yard work. Dorothy says bathroom and trash for the males in the house. Aries Love says morning queen Sheba, my husband and son are cleaning now. Girl, don't let them hear this. Are they listening to us, Aries? Shit, they might sit down and take a break now. She said, right, no trash for me unless they're sick. Okay, Sharon Parker says yard work and garbage duty. Somebody's mama says trash for the guys, bathroom vacuum. We're seeing a lot of trash coming through. L Good says the boys do their bedrooms, trash and dishes. They do the outside too. Okay. My son, Miss Cutie Pie, said he has the bathroom and the trash all week. And then Dear Yvette says that her dad and brothers have outside. That's what we do over here too. My husband and my stepson, they get the outside. They're going to hit them bathrooms. Listen, I am not cleaning after a man in a bathroom, period, point blank. That's because they know where they tinkle when they sprinkle or sprinkle when they tinkle. So I don't know. I just don't. They clean the bathrooms. And I hit everything else. So they do the, it seems like we're all in alignment. The outside, the trash, and the boys get the bathroom. Now I will take out the trash and the recycle. If it's piling up too much, I ain't gonna let it sit, but I will take it out if I see it. All right, y'all ready for hot topics, Court?
Ready?
Cinnamon?
We are ready.
Ooh, I gotta see which one we gonna jump into first. All right, give me 1 second. The Set Noir priority panelists, y'all are just coming up. These priority panelists don't play about their membership. Queen.
Good day, good day, good day, good day. Hello,
Day,
everyone.
what you got going on this Saturday?
It's my baby's birthday, so we've been kicking it since before we went to Jamaica. So we are celebrating the entire month. And Mr. Noir wanted to come up and chime in on the chore responsibility comment.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Noir. You have the floor, sir.
Hey, good evening, Sheba. How you doing, Queen?
Good. Welcome. We want to hear about these chores in this house.
Yeah. Well, growing up, I had the responsibility to do everything my sister did, or my sisters. I had to wash dishes, cook, clean, everything. Also, I had to do whatever my father wanted me to do. So I had to go out, take the trash out, cut the grass, clean the basement, do everything. So I had to do both. And even if I played football or whatever, I still had the responsibility. I still had to wash those dishes at 9 o'clock. So I had to do everything. My sisters didn't. But I said what I said.
I know that's right. Listen, you better come through. Now, let me ask you something, Mr. Noir. Were you an only boy in the house, the child, an only male child?
Yes, I was. Yes,
I was.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My next question to you, looking back, has it prepared you, in your opinion, to be a better spouse?
I am, in my opinion. And my wife, Miss Noir, said he still does it. And I do. I do everything. I cook more than she does.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm messing with her when I do that. Wow.
She's saying, yay, yay.
Yes, that is wonderful. Have times changed? Do your homeboys, your friends, the guys that you know, do y'all have the same ideology when it comes to how and what you contribute in the home by way of helping the women, teaching the boys, and just outside of bringing in the bacon?
Most of them, no. Most of them, in my opinion, they just work, and they think that's all I have to contribute for the most part. Some of them, they put in a little bit more. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. And I said what I said.
He said what he said. He said what he said. Thank you for coming up, Mr. Noir, and happy Saturday to you.
Yes, and your crew. And you and your crew.
All right. Thank you. So Crafty Lion is in the building, baby. These priority panelists, listen, they are taking over the palace. Welcome, So Crafty Lion.
So I don't have kids, but I have brothers and sisters. And my father, we all had to learn how to cook and clean. He went from the Air Force to the police academy, so we had to learn how to do it all. But my brothers mastered the art of learning how to do it horribly. So there was just some things that his sister said, okay, we'll do that part. So we decided that we'll do the cooking, and he did all the garbage and the heavy lifting, and we all learned how to do laundry, and no one cleaned the bathroom after the guys. We were on the same thing as you, but across the board, we could all do it all. And as my sisters had kids, they raised their kids to learn how to do it all. So my nieces and nephews can all cook and clean. It just was across the board, because my father had this thing about, he didn't want any of us to just be out there unequipped. So we did okay. But he did have a thing about coming home and no dishes in the sink. That was his thing. No dishes in the sink, and balanced diets. We only ate fast food on the weekends. Now my mother was a different story. We could have a sandwich every day if she was in charge. But her husband, he wanted to cook a meal. She got real lucky in that restraint, because he would cook.
Do y'all cook on the weekends, ladies? on Friday? Those in the chat, men in the chat, ladies on Friday nights, are y'all cooking?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Y'all
Court?
don't cook on Fridays?
Come on,
No.
Court, you quiet.
I cook every day. Well, I have a kid, so I cook every day.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Didn't you just hear
Okay.
Mr. Noir say that he does the cooking?
Listen.
And I want to be clear. Just because I don't cook doesn't mean I don't know how to. He just loves me enough to do it, and I appreciate it.
Gotcha. I see a lot of people say I like Court, they cook every day. Some people say no cooking on Friday. I don't cook on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Laws and Blair says that she does fish and shrimp. My grandma used to do fish on
We
Fridays.
had fish on Fridays too.
Y'all did?
Yeah,
I
even the
love
public schools have fish on Fridays.
Okay. So Miss Chanel says nope, she cooks Sunday through Thursday. The weekend, listen, I'm wilding out. I'm gonna act a fool on the weekend. Period. My last question before we go to high topics. Hold on. DK Flow with the 5-piece and a pepper said, why is it so hard to say I said what I said after speaking? Read the screen. You know what? Thank you, DK Flow. They just got to get used to it. I said what I said. Listen, how did you know to let the men or the boys clean the bathroom? Nobody taught me that. It just hit me. Like for those ladies that are saying, okay, like how do we assign chores when it comes to the guys? Most of us, nobody taught me or told me that. I just thought of it on my own. What about you ladies?
I have 3 sons and a husband. That's 4 versus 1. There's no way. Their mess is totally different from a woman's mess, and they need to clean up their own mess.
Ooh, I love it. The Asset Noir.
Exactly. Their mess is disgusting. So they
Mm,
need to know what we go through in having to clean it up. If they clean it up behind themselves, they're not as likely to be so messy when they have to wipe it up.
I love that. I love it. Courtney or So Crafty Lion, any thoughts on that?
So my brothers shared a bathroom, and then you know that scene in Fridays when the father goes in the bathroom and he says, "Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about." That was how it was for my father in the other bathroom. So no one was going in there after him. So he was responsible for cleaning it after himself. So it kind of just worked out like that.
Okay.
I think I just grew up, honestly, for me, to be honest, it just what I grew up seeing. How my grandmother, my mom, the chores that they would assign. So it kind of, I teach my son a bit more because I want him to be independent and not thinking that, a woman has to do this or a woman has to do that. I want him to know how to clean an entire house so when he's on his own. But I think the core structure of what I got came from like my grandmother.
Oh, that's good. Thank you for sharing, panelists, and thank you for sharing, Courtney. Y'all ready for this hot topic? It's a hot one. I'm not going to even pause on this one. I'm about to just play it. Child, don't get your panties in a wad. For those of you in the audience, we're about to talk about it. Give me 1 second. Y'all listen very, very closely. Here we go.
Thing you did when you were in your 20s that you regret that would change your life today?
I regret being a hoe. When I was in my 20s, I was a hoe.
What do you mean by that?
I was a hoe. I was doing a lot of women that I shouldn't have been doing, and I had a family that I could deal with. So I was just out there doing, anybody. Not like that, but I was just picking and choosing what I wanted and who I wanted. Because I had a little reputation here in Springfield, and that got me a lot of things, and especially a lot of women. And I regret using them and, regret using who I was.
Wow. So you would have not smashed the women?
I wouldn't have smashed them like I did, no.
What would you would have did?
What would I have done? Stay with my one son's mother and been married and been happy today. That's probably a regret that I've gotten over, but I would still be with her because I still have some great feelings for her in my heart, but I know how to navigate through that. But I wouldn't have been the hoe that I was back then.
So what made you be a hoe?
It was ingrained in me. My uncle was a hoe. My grandfather was a hoe. My brothers was hoes. My cousins was hoes. I'm sorry, it might not sound right. My mama was a hoe. I'm telling the truth. You know, said 6 kids by 5
Boom.
different men. Don't that qualify?
One thing you did when you ain't.
Shots fired. Lord have mercy.
Lord, wait, hold your breath. That man said his mama was a hoe. Y'all, I told you, gonna turn it off if you gonna be in your feelings. That man told the truth and said his mama was a hoe. She had 5 kids by 5 kids. What do you say? 6 kids by 5 different men. Hold on, hold your horses. Oh, now you know. In the Black community, mamas are off limits no matter what. They are the greatest. You cannot say anything. But the man said his mama was a hoe. And as a result, he adopt hoish ways. Listen, family full of hoes.
Mm.
Bam. So crafty line. What comes to mind? What are your thoughts?
Well, he became what he knew. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a minute. Come back to me, but I see he became what he knew. I guess he didn't learn to be a man because he didn't see a man. So
Well, he saw him. He said his daddy was well. He said his uncle, his cousin, all the men were hoes, and even
I'm
his
talking
mama.
about it. I'm talking about a different type of man, though,
Okay,
not just a
I got you.
male.
I
But
got it. To Latrice say he got the hoe in his DNA. Listen, I'm a listen, listen, y'all. When we think about it, I'm laughing. That man said my mama was a hoe. Does that not qualify? But look, I felt him, and and me and my husband listened to it, and my husband said, "Well, I mean, technically she wasn't because she didn't prostitute herself out." I said, "But that's not the message he received as a little boy. It had nothing to do with prostituting herself out." I feel like maybe he held her in a high regard just for the fact that she was a woman and his mother, and the fact that she had multiple children by multiple men. To him, he couldn't say it, mama, but you was hoeing. Do we teach her by us being promiscuous and not using discernment and discretion? Or are we a promiscuous group of people that hand down promiscuity to our children? What are your thoughts, panel? You ain't got to wait for me to call
I
on
think
you.
so. I definitely think so. I think, I'm a mother and I have 2 children in the home with me. My children don't see me date. Honestly, sometimes I wonder, like, what do my kids think? Do they think like I just don't have a dating life whatsoever? But I do not I haven't introduced my children to anyone. And it's been like, since my divorce, it's been like 8 or 9 years. And I don't introduce them to anyone because I don't, you know, dating is hard enough, and I don't think anyone has just been honestly worthy of meeting my children. Or I don't know, it'd probably be a wedding day before my children ever see anybody. I have always been very cautious of bringing people around my children. So
I
I think
love
it's
it.
very, you have to be very careful about the type of people you introduce to your children, the type of, you have to be careful what type of, how are you presenting yourself to your children? That's a big thing. Children are watching you. They may not say anything. They may not know how to articulate themselves. They may not know how to express themselves properly, but they are watching you, and they are watching your behaviors, and they are watching what you do. So it's very important.
KC, what are your thoughts?
Man, how's everybody doing? It's KC. Like I say, I jump in and out. I kind
Yeah,
of caught the
hold
line.
on. Did that hoe throw you off your square? That hoe
No,
when he said his
you
mama
know what?
was
You know what? It didn't. Me being a man, I know how men talk behind the scenes. However, it really shouldn't throw anybody else off because we've lived about 4 decades of hip hop where that word has been thrown around loosely to describe a bunch of women, and even before that, it was the pimp culture. So a lot like people said, he knows what he knows because that's how he was raised. The Bible say we are born into sin, shaped in iniquity. And so no matter how young we are, the parents, the elder generation is the example that we see growing up, whether it's in a neighborhood, whether it's in a household. So it's not him placing the blame on everyone else, because as a man, even though I chose to go the opposite way, meaning that I fought against a bunch of men who used to try to call women hoes and stuff, because I grew up in a family full of women. I grew up fighting a lot of dudes on behalf of aunties, aunties, my mother, and even my younger sisters. I do know that it's very prevalent, but the pressure of trying to, I guess, bag women so that you wouldn't be clowned in the hood, in the neighborhood, or even as a man, because it's not only indigenous to Black culture, but culture in general. Even when men are lying, talking about who they smash, it could be a total lie, but I guess you get some kind of brownie points by bragging about it. But in the same essence, a lot of these men want to end up marrying some virginal woman who haven't had sex. So if men are here smashing a whole bunch of women, then where are the virgins coming from? If that's the rite of passage. So he got it honestly because it was definitely in his bloodline. He saw it. He probably was pressured to do it. And as he got older, it does appear that wisdom has kind of set in. You know, he recognized the errors of his ways, and he recognized that, you know what, it came down from my mama and my daddy. You know what I'm saying? And then I saw my uncles, my cousins, and all the men in our family. You know, people don't believe in the generational curses, but they're real. You know, when people say, hey, I get it from my mom, I get it from my daddy. Like I say, once again, some people are actually born with it. If you could be born with what they call it, alcohol fetus syndrome, or born a crackhead, why can't you be born into sexual confusion? Because once again, we were born into sin, shaped into iniquity. So, you know, sometimes when people say I was born this way, they don't necessarily know they were, but I always ask people to go back and question your parents as to what was their frame of mind when, you know, when they conceived you. Was it out of lust? Was it out of love? Was it a one night stand? Was it a hookup? What was it? Because even to this day, we're seeing younger kids growing up so sexually astute, and it has to come from somewhere. A lot of stuff comes from the womb and the sins of the mother and the sins of the father. So I wasn't thrown off by him saying that his mom was a hoe. You know, I kind of said that to a couple of people in my family. I'm like, look, it's 8 kids, it's 5 different fathers, and each child was handled according to how the mother dealt with the father. You know, whether it's coming from her own, you know, void in life, or however she was treated, whether it was through sexual molestation or violations at a young age or whatever. You know, we always have to get to the root of why people are so sexually active, and hoping that they can break those cycles to not pass down to the children, because it may not hit you, or you may not get, or we may not get the brunt of it, but trust, it's going to come through the children some kind of way, or the children's children.
Why? You said we have to figure out why our children, or why we are so sexually active.
Why we are as people. So those who are truly sexually active or sexually promiscuous. So I'm a why person. I like to get to the root. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you should hate what you're doing or whatever, but long as you know why you're like that, and if you are causing destruction and chaos and you don't want to do it, then figure out the why first. Because people like to settle with, well, that's just the way I am, and everybody ain't gonna put up with just the way we are.
Say that. That's just the way I think women. I think women. Well, let me pause. Let me get it together. I think a lot of young girls are not trained to say no.
Correct.
I don't think we really train them. And I want to go to the other panelists. Give me 1 second. I don't think a lot of girls, if you think about it, ladies, in the chat, So Crafty line, has anybody ever told you growing up, excuse my language, you don't have to fuck him because he took you out to eat? You said Noir. You get what I'm saying? Follow me. You don't owe him shit. It's his job to treat you right. If you don't want to do anything else past that, that is your right. I don't think we have those conversations, but let me pause and give the panel of women an opportunity to react to the video regarding everything that he said, everything KC said, and everything that's coming to mind for you. We can start with priority panelists, So Crafty Lion, the Asset Noir, or kicking it with Courtney, whoever wants to jump in first, and then the next person can go.
I would like to tackle this. I honestly feel that the gentleman was given his honest opinion based on his environment. And when you don't know, you only do what's comfortable and familiar to you. So he was very honest about it. In terms of men necessarily aren't being labeled as hoes. Like Casey said, it's a notch on their belt. It's a badge of honor for men to quote unquote hoe around, but for women it is like a scarlet letter. And I'll take it one step further. I'll have a transparent moment with you. I was my mother and my father were married. I was a product of my mother having an affair. So my dad and I didn't know that I wasn't his biological child until I was an adult. But my biological dad was coming around all the time. I don't remember seeing him, but when my dad and I, and we looked for years. My mother wouldn't give us a name. She wouldn't give me anything. It took me 23 years to find out who this person was, this man was. And when I found out, I was told that, we connected via telephone. We were planning to meet. Before I got to meet him, I got a call saying that he had passed away. 6 years later, I found out that the man wasn't deceased until he actually died. So I lost 6 years, never got to meet him. I have connected with my biological father's family, but my dad, who raised me, is like my ride or die. My mother has, since passed away too. She took it to her grave in terms of not wanting to admit that, because again, she didn't want that label of being a hoe. She wasn't a hoe. She obviously had an affair because I'm here 50 plus years later, over 50 years later. But that stigma is really, really, really strong and really hard for women if they are promiscuous.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
I wanted to jump in a little bit, Queen. Just for a different perspective. You asked the question. I'm trying to think of how you asked the question. But I just want to say, as for me, I don't feel like I was ever really taught how to be a woman. I've gotten on your panel before and I told you, and this is kind of piggybacking off of what the gentleman said and a question you asked. I can't think of verbatim how you asked it, but I don't think I was ever really taught how to be a woman. I told you all that my mom had a drug addiction for much of my life, and I kind of bounced from my grandmother, my dad, my mom, and through her issues, I was never really taught a woman does this. This is how a woman presents herself. These are things I had to learn on my own as I got older. But thank God that being promiscuous was something that was just never in me. I didn't have to deal with, some people are touched at young ages. Some people are abused by people in their family or family friends. So it creates that inside of them. Thank goodness through what I've been through, I never experienced that portion. And again, being promiscuous was just something that was not in me. But, for me, again, I was never really taught how to present myself as a woman. I had to learn these things as I gotten older. So listening to the gentleman on the video, I can appreciate his evolution. I can appreciate his honesty and him going to the core of where it started, the root of the problem, him acknowledging it, him acknowledging his failures, and knowing what he knows now, how he would do things different. I'm sure he moves differently in life. But, I think that's the basis of it for a lot of people. Do our parents taking their time to teach their children how to navigate, into their adulthood and how to present themselves to the world? Because I didn't have that.
Thank you for sharing, Cord. I would say this before we go to the next person that wants to jump in, and feel free to jump in. I will say this really quickly. With girls, I think we can all attest that most of us have not, I'm talking about serious conversations, and don't make it dark. Don't overshadow it with the bad or negativity, but just talk about the freedoms of her choosing what to do with her body, and don't do it after it's occurred. Once the impact has happened, it's called before, anticipating that one day she's going to have a crush and she's going to like a guy. She may want to go to dinner or to the skating rink, and just because he's nice, if you don't like him, you don't have to kiss him. You don't have to hold his hand. Don't do it or say it after it's happened, guess what? It's too late. I'm not going to say it's too late, but he's already influenced her in some way, or the
Yeah.
world has influenced her in some way. If we
Yeah.
could get ahead of it and have the most beautiful conversations with these girls, the promiscuity. I want to read a comment by Desiria. And Desiria, I'm only reading your comment because you posted it. And I think it's going to generate a little bit of dialogue. Desiria Gilbert shared, well, I have a couple of baby daddies, but I was not a hoe. 4 children. What constitutes being a hoe? That's a tough one. Everybody pause first. Everybody quiet as hell. Let's go to break first.
I mean,
I don't think she's a hoe with 2
everybody's
kids and 2
scared.
baby days.
no, everybody not scared. Like,
I don't think that constitutes her as a whole. I mean, I need context. Like, how
Right.
long with the baby daddies? How long were
Okay,
these
let me do it this
relationships?
way. Let me do
Because
it
whole
this way.
activity and just going from one relationship to the other is 2 different things.
Okay, let's do it this way. If you, let's just say you are a parent, or if you're not a parent, you're an adult woman with your family. And if you don't have sons, let's do this scenario first. Okay, Casey, all of us. Arab, let's pretend everybody has a son that they feel like they've raised right. He's gone to school, and to you, he's the best. He brings home a chick that he's serious about, and she has a couple of baby daddies and 5 kids. What's going through your now? What constitutes a hoe? What's going through your head?
I'm going full mama.
You about to be the 5th one. You about to be the 5th one if you ain't careful. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie about it. I'll be like, you about to be the 5th one if you ain't careful, son.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be sitting at the baby's birthday parties, all y'all on the couch looking at each other, and then y'all looking at the next new guy saying, "You gonna be next, bro." Like that's how you feel.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth. But I'm not saying that she's actually one, because relationships, you don't know. It just well.
May I say
Go with
something?
somebody else though.
Yeah, just jump in. Go ahead.
So, we're putting all the onus on the woman. It could
Yeah.
be that the
Say
woman
it.
could have been
That yes.
in a meaningful relationship and thinking that this was the one that she was going to spend her life with. It could have been the guy that was on the selfish stuff. Like, I'm just going to smash. I'm not really into her. I'm not doing anything. It could just be reversed. I honestly believe that most women have multiple children by multiple men, not on purpose to just say, oh, I want 2, 3, 4, 8 baby daddies. And the circumstances just turn out that way because he's the hoe, not her, but she gets labeled as the hoe.
Okay,
But that's why we need to learn how to. Okay, sorry.
No. That's why I said, what constitutes being a hoe? Where do we draw the line? How many times is she able to fall? Hold on. How many times is she able to fall in love? Hold on, without protecting herself, not putting the earnest on her, because we've already established that most of us don't even have conversations with young girls about what they don't have to do.
But I do.
Well, I mean, you do have to. That's why me personally, I only have one baby. And I knew that I wanted the IUD right after I had her because me and her father was engaged at the time. But thank God I got away from that demon. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But I knew I wanted to be careful and I didn't want to have any more children without a husband, someone to be able to be there the way I needed them to be. So it's like you have to pause and wean out these men. I think a lot of us, when we start dating a guy, we want to put all our eggs in one basket when we need to learn how to date like men date. Men be having several women on a roster. Do we all know about Moses? Okay, so men be having several women on a roster, but we'll focus on one guy. And at this point in my life, I'm in my 30s. So this point in my life, don't even ask me if I'm single or not. Just join the roster. A winner will be announced shortly. Okay, just join because and make the best man win. So I can wean off what is not good. I'm just saying, like, so we can wean off what's not good. If you're not good for me, you're not really doing putting in the work to win me over or whatever. Then okay, well, I'm not checking for you like that, and I don't have to have sex with none of y'all if I don't want to. You know what I mean? So it's just, but maybe because I had uncles, I didn't have my biological father with me like that, but I had uncles that taught me that
Yeah.
a man's supposed to do this. I actually had an uncle literally take me out on a date. He said, I'm gonna do something with you, niece. I need you to be dressed by this particular time. He came, he got me, he opened my door, he asked me what restaurant I wanted to go to. I told him Red Lobster because that was popping back in the day. And he took me there. He let me order what I wanted. And when he brought me back home, he said, now this is the part of the date that you can kiss your date on the cheek. You can say goodbye. You don't owe him nothing. He paid for your time. That was the first lesson I ever had from a man. He paid for your time. That's what he did. You don't owe him nothing. If you want to
Hmm.
kiss him on the cheek, fine. If you don't, go in the house and say have a good night. And that was that. But
I agree.
that's
The
the
whole
experience
word.
I
I
had.
100% agree.
Hold on. Hear me? Ah, shit. Y'all couldn't hear me?
No, we couldn't. We hear
No.
you now.
No,
Damn. Okay, let's go to
But
the
we were
next person.
silent for
I
you.
messed up the whole show. I didn't know. Go ahead. Go to the next person that want to jump. What I was trying to say is some really good stuff coming through. And pause for a second because I really wanted people to take it in. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you.
Okay. And I said, and if you keep at the forefront of your mind what the video said, the man said, in conjunction with the Asset said, why do we put the earnest on the woman, the responsibility on the woman? Because you got to remember what he said he picked up as a boy from all. Sorry about that, my mosquito guys here. From all the men that his mama thought she loved, he looked at his mama as a hoe. So how do we take what we think we're doing as good adults, being sexually promiscuous, sexually active because we think we're in love, not knowing that our kids are looking at us. No sound?
No, I hear you now. We hear you now.
Now we can't.
Can y'all hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay, let me pause and let somebody else get in there.
Can
Because my sound is acting up. Let me pause and let somebody else get in there.
Can I just elaborate on what I said earlier as well in terms of answering your question? How do we define hoe? My opinion is someone who is just reckless with their emotions, their body, and just their spirit. Period. Wreaking havoc with anything that they come in contact with. Period. So
Okay.
very, very selfish.
Okay. And then based on what the guy said, he said, my mom was a hoe. My mama was a hoe. This person was a hoe. See, kids don't take into consideration our train of thought when different men and women are revolving through the door. So we are a promiscuous community, in my opinion. We are extremely sexually active, in my opinion. But let me pause and see if let's let Grown and Sexy jump in real quick.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Good morning, Queen Sheba and panel. I am not going to be here long. I just want to share a little tidbit. So it takes a village. We all know that. So sometimes when we become a certain age, we change our who we look for encouragement, where we fit in, what circle do we fit in, and we begin to navigate away from our parents, and we begin to connect with our social circles. And so oftentimes, where's the influence coming from? From your friends. Your friends are trying to convince you to have sex, and this is what we do in our circle, or I really like her, and you want to be accepted into the circle. You don't want to be the mean girl out. I'm just saying that to say this. The kids are not going to come home and sit at the dinner table and say, Mom, you got a condom. I'm going to have sex this evening. I don't know how the boys relate that with their fathers, but that's not what our girls are going to say. I will share this. When I was a school counselor, I'm still a school counselor, semi-retired, but the children would come in and talk to the counselors about some things that they wouldn't say to their parents. And I had a whole disclosure on my wall. These are the things, if you disclose to me, I am legally required by law to contact your parents within 24 hours. If you want to talk to me about this, know that I'm going to call your parents. You have 24 hours to tell them yourself. And after that, we have to talk about it together. Now, I can help you tell them if you want me to. So what did that teach me? I feed my kids counselor. Hey, I need you to talk to about this. Because I knew that the counselor was the safe place. So when I was struggling during those teenage years, I was calling the counselor. And some of those counselors, I were their partners in the schools. We were colleagues. Can you say this for me? Say this about the car. Say this about skipping class. I need you to talk to someone. I need you to talk to, and it was my child, about this particular situation. Because I knew that my children, my students were coming in, and I was their safe space. Just something to think about. Our kids are not going to come home and sit at the dinner table and tell us they're about to go have sex, or they need a condom. Mom, Dad, what you recommend? Somebody may get their teeth knocked out saying that stuff, at least old school. My daddy would say to me, I will brought you in and I will take you out. I will put my foot on your neck. And all I could envision was Daddy, as big as he was, putting his foot on my neck. I believe that. Just something to think about. What y'all think?
That's a lot. That's why I said, like, this guy said he regretted being a hoe. All the women that he went through because he could. And what I found ironic is the younger guy was like, damn, you still wouldn't smash? Two different ideologies, two different train of thoughts about how they view women. He said, no, I still wouldn't smash. I would have stayed with my son's mother, where I would have been loved, appreciated at home, and I would have had a family.
He learned after the fact. Probably because he was out there experiencing, didn't have the wisdom of what the lady said earlier, the spiritual, physical, emotional, mental connection to know better, because no one ever spoke that into their spirit. Or someone did, and then they were convinced otherwise by their social circle.
One thing Casey said that stood out with me, he said, we talk different men when we're together. So I'm not shocked that he called his mama a hoe.
Ooh, that was a lot.
I want y'all to pause on that, ladies. He said men talk completely different when we're not around women. So I'm not shocked that he called his mama a hoe. Dee Star,
I think his mama
Go ahead.
been a hoe.
Yeah, who
Because
is that?
he did say when he spoke about his mom, he said, my mom was a hoe. She had 6 kids by 5 different men, but he also called his father, his uncles whores, but he didn't name how many children they had produced. Now, what I do want to say is, as far as women, I think women catch a lot of the brunt of being hoes or promiscuous, when Black men in our community have the very same issue, if not worse. A lot of Black men are coddled. Like the conversation can go, I'm kind of shifting a bit, but the conversation can always go from, like, let's look at Chloe and what's the guy's name? Tristan. Tristan had all these had a baby on Chloe. And the first thing that I saw a lot of men online saying was, well, he didn't want the baby, so she shouldn't have had it. But why is he not being taught restraint not to produce a child with a woman that he has no future with? Why is he not being taught restraint? Because boys get away with it. And because it's a woman's body, it's going to fall on, oh, was she a hoe? She just wanted this. Well, he was a hoe too. But why is he not being taught restraint at home? Girls, a lot of girls are keep your legs closed at home. When they're at home, keep your legs closed. Don't do this, don't do that. And boys are running amok out in the streets. And because the baby can't come home with the guy, the baby comes home with the daughter, they're putting a lot of pressure on the girls And the girl feel like, you know, a lot of girls feel like they have to run out into the streets to be seen because, you know, at home they, you know, the gridlock is on them, but the boys aren't being taught the same. So I think the problem is equally yoked. It's just that the women are going to bring the babies home and the boys are usually not.
Good point.
Right
But
there.
can I
They
piggyback off of that?
Yeah, let me play it real quick. They asked me to play it again. Let me play it so the audience can catch up and follow y'all. Hold on.
Thing you did when you were in your 20s that you regret that would change your life today?
I regret being a hoe. When I was in my 20s, I was a hoe.
What do you mean by that?
I was a hoe. I was doing a lot of women that I shouldn't have been doing, and I had a family that I could deal with. So I was just out there doing, you know, anybody. Not like that, but I was just picking and choosing what I wanted and who I wanted. Because I had a little reputation here in Springfield, and that got me a lot of things, and especially a lot of women. And I regret using them, and, you know, regret using who I was.
Wow, so you would have not like smashed the women?
I wouldn't have smashed them like I did, no.
What would you would have did?
What would I would have done? Stay with my one son's mother and been married and been happy today. You know, that's probably a regret that I've gotten over, but I would still be with her because I still have some great feelings for her in my heart, but I know how to navigate through that. But I wouldn't have been the hoe that I was back then.
So what made you be a hoe?
It was ingrained in me. My uncle was a hoe. My grandfather was a hoe. My brothers was hoes. My cousins was hoes. I'm sorry, it might not sound right. My mama was a hoe. I'm telling the truth. You know, said 6 kids by 5 different men. Don't that qualify?
One thing you did when you were in...
Damn.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Based on what that gentleman said, now one thing I can say is that he'll probably say only I can call her a hoe. Nobody else can. But I believe that his heart was broken. Seeing his mother have many relationships. I don't think it was about the number of children he had. I think it's about the number of men he saw come in and out of his home as a young child. And I believe that broke his heart because he said, I would not have, as a 20-year-old young man, smashed as many women as I did. So I believe seeing his mother have so many different men run in and out of her home, it did something to his psyche because a mother, in all cases, is like the first person a baby loves. They learn to love their father and grow to love them, but the love that they feel for their mother is automatic because it starts in the womb. So therefore, I believe his heart was broken by seeing the way that his mother how she carried her life.
Not just hearing. Kids can hear you having sex. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, seeing and hearing.
I wanted to piggyback off the previous person, not this person, even though what she said was some good points too. But the one before you played the video,
Courtney.
It is.
Courtney.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of a double standard when we coddle the men and we go real hard on the women. I mean, if you even look at the dynamic even between Martell and Ariane, I'm gonna call her by her name today because we have seen this man go from one woman to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And yes, we call him a hoe, but it don't really stick the way it has stuck to the mistress. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even know if she deal with a lot of men or she have had a lot of men. We only know about one man previously, and that's her first child's father. She only have 2 kids. But she's been messing with one man for a whole decade, but we still call her a whore. And we have called her nothing but coleslaw, recovery puss, a bird. We have called this girl so much but Miss Curry, but people still call him Mr. Holtz. You see what I'm saying? That's another example. My mom always told me
he is
he is a hoe. But my mom always taught me A man is going to be Mr. So-and-so at the end of the day. No matter how you could try to say he's a whore too, and he got this, that, and the other, you're going to be a slut, and he's going to be Mr. So-and-so at the end of the day. We still haven't called this woman Mrs. Curry yet. Have we ever called her Miss Curry?
And I
No.
don't plan on it. I'm not gonna call
And
her
we
Miss.
don't, and we
I would
don't,
never call her that.
and we
So
would never call her that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's the double standard in the universe of this
Bad
world
example.
when it comes to men.
Real
I
bad
don't think
example.
that's a double standard because this woman put herself in a marriage, destroyed a whole family. And any
Now I
woman
know
that
about
does
the
that is a hoe.
I know that's
That
a
is a
marriage
hoe.
and all like that. Please understand what I'm saying.
It's
I'm
a
not
bad
giving her
analogy
grace.
because of who she's using,
Okay,
y'all.
another
Martell
example.
knew he was married just as well as she did, and Martell
Yes,
had the bigger end
Exactly.
because
That's
he
what
took
I'm
both
saying.
jobs.
But
He's
she
just as
allowed
much as
herself
low
to get
down as she.
pregnant over and over again by that man, knowing that he was a married man. And
But
she proved that.
but he's
Knowing
just as
he
much
had
as
took those vows and
responsible.
had children at
He's
home.
just as much as
I
responsible,
think
if
that
not
boys,
more
when
than her, because
boys, they're
he
accountable.
took the vow.
Okay, hold on. Let's pause for a second. Dee Star, I want you to get in. And then I'm gonna ask y'all a general question about what Hershey's trying to say. We're gonna take Ariane Curry off the table and just use a general situation that I think may apply. Dee Star, I know you've been waiting.
Hey, Queen Shiva. First of all, I want to say hello and thank you for allowing me to come up. I was trying to stay in the chat, but this is my kind of conversation, so it's hard.
Yes.
So, hello, panel. Hello, chat.
Hello.
I got so many thoughts. And every time somebody bring up something, it take me somewhere else. But what I did want to come up and say, someone mentioned it about how the guy did not talk about his father. And that's a very pivotal point to think about because not only did he not have a father in the house, it's seemingly that he never had his father around. So his ideas came from his uncles, cousins, and then what he thought of his mother having multiple baby fathers. The thing about it is, for a boy, they love their mothers. They just do. They love their mothers. So if they see anything in their mothers that's hurtful to them, that does bring along some anger. And I think about my own family. It's 6 of us. I'm the oldest. But my brothers got away with everything. One of my brothers, he should have 20 if all the kids was around, okay? That's how much he was going. And my mother never believed it. Like we would tell her stuff, she didn't even believe he was that horrible because he knew how to play the game to her, you know? But then with my sister, she had a baby young. My mama tortured her when she found out she was pregnant at 16. She was so angry and she really put her through it, you know. So it's just the double standard in the household a lot of times is difficult to deal with. And so then I want to get back to that question you asked about, because I had so much thoughts, sorry. The question about the girls not being told. And that's the truth. A lot of, if I'm in my 50s, our age group, our parents did not have those conversations about sex, how we should even have sex or anything. We just found out what we found out, and that was it. If you were smart enough to know you don't want any kids or whatever, that's good. But nobody was having those conversations about really where sex should be in your life. So now, as a grown woman, and I'm married, and I didn't have a father, my husband is the one I send my daughter to have those conversations because he's a man. I'm not a man. I didn't have a father that had those conversations. So I love the way he talks to her, and he say, "What would you do if a man says this? Do you think you have to?" This, so he has those kind of conversations with our daughters, and I appreciate that. But everybody doesn't get it, and I'm honored because I end up in this situation. But I look back on my life, and I didn't have it myself. So I mean, it's a lot to be said about this conversation. So I hope I didn't go all over the place, but I just want to get those points out. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for sharing. It's a beautiful conversation. I'm gonna come back to it. I gotta go to super chats really quickly. In addition to what Dee says, Steph, you're up next. Think about it. Most women, if they told you the truth, I don't know about all races, but most women, most little black girls, when we think about sex, And Dee Dee said you just kind of found out when you found out. And I'm not going to use the RAPE word, but most of them had it by way of pressure and not woke up one day and said, this little boy is so beautiful, this teenage boy, and da 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 da. Most of it came by way of pressure. If most of them tell the truth, we'll be back.
All right, Palace, the Super Chat Squad is in the building. We appreciate you, baby. The Super Chats are fire. Get in your bag. That's a lot of money.
Yes, we're going to jump back into the conversation as soon as we acknowledge these beautiful super chats that are flowing through. Tanya Singleton with a 2-piece and a pepper. She says, good morning, Queen. Love you in chat. And love you in chat. We love you too, Tanya. And thank you for coming through the palace. Let us know how you're doing in the chat. We know you're on and off and you're handling some business, but we miss having you around and seeing you. Somebody's mama with a 2-piece and a pepper said, where was the lie? Listen, she's talking about that video. What the man said, Aqua Queen with a 5-piece and a pepper. She said this right here. This is why you must be very careful what you do around and to your children. That is called childhood traumas. Ooh, I'm going to pause on that one. I'm going to pause. We call it love. Research calls it trauma, y'all. Some of the things that we think we're doing out of love. I like him. I love him. This one wasn't the right one. This one maybe. This one. Childhood traumas. That's deep. We're going to talk about it. Miss Prince, 60 with a 50-piece. Girl, I'm going out after this with a 50-piece and a pepper. She says, I decide what I am and what I will be labeled. I am living and enjoying life. You better. I date. If I go further, it doesn't make me a hoe. It makes me a grown-ass consenting adult. Make my own choices. Some would say I am 304 and around. F them. And I said what I said. Listen, give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Hey. FBI, open up. Listen, girl. I love it, Miss Prince. Steffi, 1961, you're up next. What you got on this conversation?
Good afternoon, Queen and Pal. Okay, I have 2 boys. I want to go back to the question, what if they come home with women with children? That's happened to me, and at first I didn't know what to expect, but we talk about everything. So I've always told my 2 boys when they got older to protect their DNA. So they always thought it was so funny. So my oldest son, he's just always the difficult one. So he brings someone home with 2 children and brought the children there. And at first I'm like, wow, so now I got to do this. I got to figure out how to handle this. So I said, let me treat her nice because I don't want him with her. So I've always talked nice to the young ladies, and then behind closed doors, I talk to him and ask him, what are you doing? Is this what you want out of life? And so he was 30 years old before he started having babies. And when he did, he had 4 children, like back to back, and wasn't married. So I've talked to him over and over, and I thought I was getting through to him. So like we said, the men are always innocent, but the woman is always labeled as a whore. So I don't get that.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Y'all, this is a conversation that we could go on and on and on. There are so many different components that man has dropped in that video. I mean, you can look at it from, oh, you know what? There is one angle we can look at it from. Hold on. In addition to Steffi saying that she had that conversation with her son. Hold on. Let me highlight this one because Dee Dee Star, you also brought it up. Give me 1 second. Cheryl 19 says he didn't mention his father. He couldn't. He didn't have one because mama had a roster. The men were being rotated out. So in addition to him, she said, my mama has 6 kids with 5 different men. So in addition to him, his other siblings didn't have a father. probably the last one if it worked out. It's a lot, right? It's easy to talk about it as opposed to being in her shoes. But what I'm talking about is what he walked away with as a child. Julie Land, what are your thoughts?
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. And just
Okay.
FYI, everybody, if you're not speaking, please go on mute. They were saying that we had some background noise. Go ahead, Julie Land. We're on mute.
I love this conversation. I am good in my whole life. You just don't know. I love this conversation. But I originally saw this video a few days ago, and I thought it was so refreshing to actually have an older Black man speaking of his regrets in life. Very rarely do we get that in our community. Um, you know, because if we're being real, a lot of like younger Black men, they spend their whole life, right? Like he said, he had regrets because he had a good woman, which was his first baby mother, and he kind of did her wrong, which is kind of like what's going on now in our society. A lot of younger Black guys, they sleep around. I actually think Black men are more promiscuous than Black women. That's just my personal opinion. Um, and he was speaking of how whenever he was younger, he kind of whore around. And then now that he's older, he doesn't sound like he has a wife. And I don't think we speak enough about how a lot of older Black men are dying alone, you know? And I just thought it was so refreshing that an older Black guy was actually being honest about his regrets in life. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. What a different perspective. I'm sorry, a different perspective. And she's also saying that this conversation is really helpful. I know the Aset was saying, damn, we put a lot of responsibility on the women. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
We definitely do.
We do put a lot of responsibility on the women. And just to clear up my last thought, I wasn't giving the side the mistress any grace. Please understand that. Please understand that. I was just saying how everybody bashes her really, really harshly. Even though we bash him and he the one took the vows, we at the end of the day he still Mr. Holt. That's what I was trying to actually get at. But bad example. But you know what I feel like a lot is going on is that the mothers don't really teach the daughters that sex is not nasty. If I could come from that perspective. And I think a lot of people, when we feel like something is wrong or forbidding, it pushes you more to want to do it. And with my mom, she just told me that sex is a beautiful thing. It's supposed to be between a man and a woman that loves each other. And that my virginity was something special and it's something that I could only give once. And once I give it, I can't take it back. So make sure whoever you give it to is deserving of it. And that's mostly your husband. That's what she told me. She said, but if you cannot wait, please let me know so we can go and make sure that you're safe. But that's the conversation my mom had. So it didn't push me to want to do it because then I realized that I had something treasure between my legs and I wasn't just going to give it to just anybody. So when you know what I mean? When you don't have that deep conversation with your children and let them know that it's not something forbidding, it's not something nasty, it's something very natural between human beings, you will probably you probably will put the risk lower for them to actually just be promiscuous and I want to do it and it's something that my parents don't want me to do it, so I'm going to do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, they do hold the women more they put a more tight hold on the girls than they do the boys because it is a rite of passage for them. Like we was having this conversation the other day, how older women have been known to have these flings with younger boys that are 16 and 15 years old. But if you turn it around and you see an older man trying to be with a girl that's 16 and 15 years old, that's statutory rape. Why are we not so great? I don't want to mess up your channel. Why don't we go as hard on the older women that are messing with these younger boys? Because if I had a son, it would be a problem.
Because
that
hold
you
on,
are in
because
your,
the men are
like you in
teaching the
your
boys.
30s.
The men are teaching the boys it's a free for all.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Because it was
so when how come we not going hard on the women? Because these men are teaching these young ass boys, go get it. Look at Lil Boosie.
exactly.
So these men are training their sons to sleep with these in some of these cases. So my thing is this. All I can do is what I can do when it comes to younger. I ain't gonna even say younger girls. I'm just saying most women don't feel like or have not been taught that they have a choice, right? And let me ask y'all this real quick. When it comes to sex, who should be teaching who? Who should be having? Should men be having these conversations with the girls, or should the women be having the conversations?
Both.
Both. It's good to hear both perspectives, because women can teach you what women talk about and what we deal with, but men, when I've had conversations with my uncles and my cousins, my male cousins, I found out so much info that I would have never known just talking to my aunties and my mom. And that's real talk. Because
Okay.
they literally told me how men talk about women. And they warned me, I bet not ever hear your name come up in a conversation.
Cool.
And that was like they told me. They told me.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say something real quick. I was taught by my mother and then also my dad, my grandfather, and my uncles. And we used to have a lot of talks about what men want and why they do what they do. So I think it's very important that young women, girls hear it from both sides, because we are two different sexes. We have two different insights when it comes to things. And so they need to hear it from a woman and a man. But the thing about it is that, yes, we hold women to a higher standard. It's because we are the ones that can get pregnant. Men cannot get pregnant. Young men can't get pregnant. Only women, once they hit a certain age and they have their cycle. So,
What does that mean? I don't.
well, it only means that it's a fact that we are the ones that have the baby. So, and we're going to be the one that will be stuck. Not saying that the man, it's not right at all, but it's just reality.
That's very true, and I think I said that earlier. So I get
Yeah,
what
it's just
you mean by
reality.
that. But what I'm saying is, why is it that we don't teach our sons that? Like I said, the analogy I used earlier, the Chloe and what's his name, Tristan Thompson. Why is it okay, even if she was gold digging, take the gold digging and everything, why was he allowed to multiple times not use protection, ejaculate, in her, create a baby, and he's void of responsibility because she is the whore? Why is he not the whore?
He
Was in
is.
a relationship.
He is.
He's
He
a
is. He
man.
is a whore.
I
He is
think
a
I think
whore.
I can say something about that.
Right, but who is not teaching him self-restraint? I'm raising a son as well as a daughter. So you think that I'm not teaching my son how to practice what he's doing out here in these streets, to not be using women for their bodies, to not just go in and create a baby with a woman that you have no future with, or not to operate self-restraint for a feeling for 5 minutes? No, I'm not coming up off of him for that. Just
I
as well as I'm
understand.
not coming up off my daughter for not valuing her body and not
Mhm.
knowing who she is as a woman. I want them to have the same mentality. I think that because that is very true what you said, women bring home the babies. So because women bring home the babies, it's always been a situation that we're gonna lock this. You the problem. It's gonna look like this. You got to bring this baby home, and men can have 3 babies in the streets.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
And
they can
I
have 3
have
out there in
3
the street,
sons.
and the girl ain't got none at home. Go
Right.
ahead.
Hold on.
And I have 3 sons. So I totally understand what you're saying. I have 3 of them. So I totally understand. And I have that talk with them just like their father does. Don't get a woman pregnant. I've told my sons, because they're in relationships and have been for, more than 2 and 3 years with the same woman. Now, my oldest son is only 26, but the conversation I have is, you're responsible for making a life. It doesn't matter if she's on birth control pill. I don't care if you see her put that pill in her mouth and swallow it. you have to take responsibility by wearing a condom to make sure, because that nothing happens. Because in all honesty, plenty of women get pregnant on birth control. So I have that conversation with my son, but the bottom line is that she's the one that's going to get pregnant, and most of the women have to take the full responsibility. It's not right, but that is what happens most of the time.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I want the review hour to jump in as a priority panelist. I didn't hear anybody say love or talk
That's
about not
it.
just a woman getting pregnant. You breaking down her spirit, breaking down her self-esteem. If you have no intention of being with her, why do you want to fuck her?
Mm-hmm.
We
You
ain't
know
really
what?
talking like we should be to these boys and girls.
That's
Why do you
absolutely
Queen
true.
Sheba, I was just about to say that too. I'm sorry, this is Star. Thank y'all. I was gonna say that too. A lot of what we're seeing is low self-esteem, really. They equate having sex with being loved. They don't understand that it's a total different thing. Intimacy is really having the love for the person. A lot of people don't receive intimacy, they just receive the physical act. So a lot of our young ones are growing up not understanding that to have a real relationship where it should be the proper feeling of a relationship, you have to have intimacy and love. Then comes the physical activity. A lot of times they're jumping past the other two and just to the physical activity. So I think that should be the talking point, that we need to teach our children as well, because all that they're seeing on TV and everything else is how to have the actions, but they're not taught how to really love a person. And for us as women, of course, it's mental. So we need to teach our young men, you need to be mentally stimulating to the woman who you want to have intimacy with. It's a lot. This conversation is deep. I'm just saying. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can I
Go
ask
ahead.
one question before she go? So this just something to marinate on. So us women, would we be okay with a man who have slept with 50 women prior to us? And do men, or would y'all be okay for the kings in the palace? Would y'all be okay if you knew that your woman had 50 men before she was with you? What would be the difference?
Are you asking
Like,
me?
would y'all be accepting of that if you realize your woman had 50 men before, been with 50 men before you, and women, would we be looking at him like yuck, or would it be, oh, he's just a man, he's been playing around in the field, if we realize he'd been with 50 women before he got to us? Just curiosity.
For me, I'm gonna tell you, this is why people don't have that conversation, because neither one of us want to know that. I'm just being honest. I know my husband, we've talked, but if he told me he'd had 50 women, we wouldn't, So no. And then men, they don't even want to know if we had a man before them. You know how men, they don't even want to know that we had somebody before them. They want to feel like they was our first and only a lot of times. That's my opinion.
What if, okay, Dee, real quick, what if your husband told you after you was married and not before?
Well, darn, then I can't do nothing about it, but I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Because really, honestly, we've had conversations about it or whatever, but it's like he even said, that's something that his aunts and they would tell him, don't go sleeping around because you leaving a lot of broken hearts, and if you have no intention, and so that's the kind of man he is. So it is a difference. But my brother on the other hand is one of those type of men. So I don't know how a woman would feel if she knew that he was that type of man, because he is still today. I don't know.
I will say this. Most women don't care if a man had 50 women. Y'all already know it. Hell, y'all be sleeping. I'm not talking to nobody on the panel. I'm just saying most women, y'all, we done seen it now up in these streets. Let me tell you something. If you'll take a man with a wife, you'll take a nigga that done had 50 women.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
A lot of them will. Yes.
Come on now.
That's true.
That's one thing. Most women don't care. They're not gonna say it out loud. We're gonna say the right thing. Most of them don't care. Okay. Most of them, look at Love and Hip Hop. Look a little scrappy. Come on, I'll pause there. Look at Stevie. Most women, Faith Evans married Stevie J. Okay, we can put a
People like
pin
to compete.
That's the first
That
thing.
is that is so true,
People
Queen
like to
Sheba.
compete.
Oh,
Who said that? Because that's a
So
word.
crafty. People like to compete, and there
Women
are a
like to
lot
no,
of.
compete.
women like to compete. Women
Well,
like to
Women
I
like to
compete.
wasn't
I think
finished.
compete.
I
that's the
was going to say
bigger,
people like to compete, and there are a lot of women that feel like they have the golden twat.
and I think
Mine's is
that's the
better
bigger
than yours.
conversation.
I could do stuff. Mine has wings. It can fly. It can do something that yours can't. And I know that he was with you first, but now he's with me, and mine can do extra things. Ariane thought that. She thought that hers was something unique, and that now life was about to change because Martell had the ultimate life experience because he was with her. Now I understand because he kept coming back how she felt that way, but you didn't have a unicorn. You were just there. You're still just there, and that's why he keeps coming back because you're there. But sometimes it's about a competition.
Mm.
And that's, I mean, a lot, that's what a lot of it is. You had a baby, I'm gonna have a baby. You got his name tattooed on your shoulder, I'm finna get his name all down my leg, across my back, and across my chest. There's a lot of competition going on.
Can I say
And
something?
he's not
Well,
thinking about you or you because now he's over there with her.
Queen,
Can
I'm
I
sorry.
say something,
Somebody
Queen?
has major feedback.
Queen,
Yes, ma'am.
can I say something?
Yeah, jump in. Go ahead. And then
Okay,
review hour, we got to let her get in next. Go ahead.
well, we're talking about pregnancies and all this, but what about all the diseases out here? So birth control can't protect that. It's
I
not a
don't even think
pill.
they take birth control no more, do they?
I don't know, but I mean, it's more
I have an
serious
IUD.
than having a baby now. And that's why I always
Mhm.
talk to my grown men. I always tell them, hey, it's a lot of diseases out here. Make sure you protect yourself. That they look at it as I'm treating them like children, but I care about them. So I was just talking to my baby boy about that yesterday. I said it's a lot of diseases out here. Make sure you protect yourself. Don't be putting your mouth on nobody, and don't be sleeping with people with no protection. So they'll tell you anything, but it's a lot of stuff out here and it's serious. So I know we're talking about pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, but it's a whole lot of more unwanted things out here.
Yep. I agree, Steffi. The review hour. I know you've been waiting patiently.
Hey, Queen, how are you?
Good, good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. I wanted what everybody is saying today. I'm just sitting back here listening, and it's just so good. And I think that just recently I was thinking that I think people have to take a different approach, to explaining intimacy to their children, especially the ones that are not active sexually. Uh, with my parents, it was a fear tactic. If you have sex, you're gonna have a baby, or you get a disease, or boys are gonna talk about you to make sure they don't touch your body. And of course, that fear, just the way that they gave it to me, I'm like, I don't want any of that to happen. So no, I'm not gonna let anybody touch me, while I'm a minor, because that was instilled in me. But they never sat me down and explained to me the beauty, how beautiful the act of intimacy can be with that person that's for you. And I'm not going to say that no one does that, but I don't think enough of us do that or have done that with our children when they were younger. And I think that's important. We need to start being very descriptive, you know, in our explanation of why they should be patient and wait for the right one, because they're searching for that good feeling that they see on television. I think one young lady mentioned what we see on television. They're looking for that. They're searching for that, you know. And we need to explain to them, hey, it's more to it. Yeah, it feels good, but feeling good gets stale after a while. It gets old after a while. It takes more, to enjoy and respect and have that intimacy, that the beauty of intimacy with someone. And one other thing, I noticed that a lot of people, not on this panel, but people in general, they always use the term in love. I hate that word because I don't believe in it. It's a word that someone made up. You know, don't marry someone unless you're in love. Don't give up your body unless you're in love. I just think that we need to get rid of that word. It doesn't exist.
Or
You know,
in control. Control. You can accept rejection should he decide he don't want you after he's tried it. And this isn't just for children. This is for grown ass women too.
yes,
And men.
and men and men. And you asked the question, who should be explaining this to uh, their children or their young people. And I do agree with most of the people on the panel that, yeah, it should be both. Should be mom and dad or whoever that figure is in their life. It doesn't matter if you're a single parent or if a man or a woman, explain it. But we need to start telling them the beauty of having that intimacy with that one person because it's rare. You just can't get it with one person after the other. You're just going to get that good feeling and you're going to continue to search for it. And that's how you end up having man after man, woman after woman, because you're searching for that feeling that it's going to be different with every person. So you got to look for something deeper, something deeper. There's that intimacy that, you can't get it. You may have it once or twice in your life, and a lot of people are not even blessed to have it in
And
their
let me
lifetime.
say this. A lot y'all, we gotta also speak to the times that we in. Half of these kids are high as fuck. This generation drunk out their mind. Another thing I would probably say, if you got to do all that to do it, then maybe that ain't it. And not just
Queen.
kids, y'all. We talking about celebrities, rappers, coked out, snorted. Like, come on, y'all. Lean, syrup, all of that. Don't even remember the night before. You got to do all that, baby. That wasn't an intimate moment. That was a good old FUCK.
Right.
Period.
And be real about that.
Yeah.
Queen, is there a man on the panel? Is there a
He
man on
dropped
the panel?
dropped down.
Okay, good. It's raining real hard, so excuse the rain in the background. Because I wanted to get his perspective because I heard about us competing as women when it comes to, everybody think that their treasure down there is the best treasure there is. But I haven't heard from the men that said that if you knew how many partners in the past, would it make you look at a woman different if you knew she had more partners? Because like you said, women don't care. Women don't care. So that's the thing that I wanted to say when it comes to the double standard, when it comes to the holding.
Tony Gaston talks about it a lot. I said most women don't care. Most men would not admit it out loud, but let me tell you something about a man. When he decides he wants you, don't matter if you're a hoe. A nigga that, look, I'm not talking about all of them, but I'm saying you done seen some of them totem on their hands out here in the
You
real
ain't
world.
never lied, Queen.
Am I lying, Courtney?
You ain't never lied, Queen.
Y'all,
That is true.
she a hoe. Shit, and I go to church, I cooks, I clean, baby. That ain't what he looking for, boo-boo. He ain't looking for cooks and the cleans and all of that. He listen when they care, they don't give a damn if you are a hoe. Now they hope you don't hoe no more. I'm not talking about all of them. And if there's some man in the bushes, Jamar said yes. I'm saying when he done made up his mind, he wants you, and I got a lot of men around me. They don't give a damn. That the ones that do decide. I don't know. I could be wrong. Men, like she said, come on up. Offer your opinion. Glam Rocks, what are your thoughts?
Hi, good afternoon, panel, chat, and the queen. Good afternoon. What I wanted to say, someone mentioned about pregnancies. I conceived at the age of 14 and had a child at the age of 15. And a lot of people didn't know it was RAPE. So a lot of people in the family, in the church, I didn't start going back to church till 13 years ago when I gave my life to Christ, because we're so judgmental without knowing what happened to people. I was raised in a very strict Haitian household. To even mention a boy, that would be off limits. So no one talked to me about, sexual contact. No one talked to me about good touch, bad touch. So when this happened to me, I just found I was already 4 months pregnant. They didn't even know. But the thing about it is, these days we do have to talk to our children. We do have to let them know that this is good touch, bad touch, and what happened. Don't automatically judge someone because you don't know what happened to them. So for a long time, the church called me a whore at the age of 14. Don't even know what happened to me, how it happened, nothing. As far as they're concerned, she was being fast. So that's why now I take my time out and I go to schools that they have here in Miami. I actually attended also. And I give back by talking about women. As a matter of fact, there's a book out. I'm sorry, not trying to plug myself, but 7 of us teenage mothers as women now in our 40s and 50s wrote a book. And we gave out to these young women. So even if your aunt, a neighbor, or whatever, always talk to a young woman and always educate the boys also, because we have the passport brothers out here telling them, these men in their 40s and 50s talking about, oh, don't date a woman that has a child. Only date girls between 20, 24, 27. But you got a pot belly, got 5, 6, 10 kids, got 2 divorces, but you trying to date little girls. I'm sorry, younger women. And so there's a lot of negative information given out to the young boys. And if you're a mother, a aunt, somebody in a young girl's life, don't be so quick to judge her because you don't know what happened to her. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Jessica, I think you wanted to jump in real quick.
Yes,
If
can
not,
you hear me?
Yep, go
I'm
ahead. You
sorry.
got the floor.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place. But going back to like who should be teaching like the young people, I think it's both like the mom and dad. It wasn't until I was hearing other people's like points of views that I realized that my dad never had that conversation. Like I love my dad, don't get me wrong, but he never showed me like how a man's supposed to treat you. It was always my mom, like, don't have sex before marriage. And I'm personally waiting until marriage. However, a side note, I had this conversation with 2 people this week. We were all raised the same. No sex before marriage, don't do this. However, the 2 people I talked to, they personally had sex before marriage. So I'm just an outsider looking in, listening to their point of view. And I realized we were all taught this way. And I can't help but wonder, because I personally never been in a relationship. I went on a date before, but I can't help like think if something's wrong with me, or like I know God has a plan. But with those 2 ladies, they both brought up like, what if like one lady, she had a miscarriage before. She just started having sex a couple years ago. So she always go back, if I didn't listen to my mom, what could I be a mom by now? And the same with the other girl. She was saying she's had sex with people, she hasn't found the one. And like, is my time almost up? Because she's about to be 38, if I'm not mistaken. But just going from my point of view, I know my worth and I'm going to wait for my kingdom spouse. However, I can't help but wonder, if I did go to that party back in college, if I did go on that date, where would my life be? I know I wouldn't have sex before marriage, but I can't help but wonder, like it has my time passed me. And I know God has a plan for me, but just listening to everybody's point of view, it has me really here, like sitting here thinking, like, dang, like what, like I need to like get one with myself and speak to God, because I can't help but wonder, shoulda, woulda, coulda, if that makes any sense.
No,
Thank you, Queen.
I understand. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go to super chats, but before I do, let me say this. I think Black women don't put themselves out there enough. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about being open. Love ain't, listen, don't play with me. Y'all better stop waiting on these Black men that ain't trying to get right, when you got all these men from around the world that loves that beautiful dark melanin skin of yours, baby. Don't put yourself in one box. I said what I said. Shit, if they ain't going to get right, go on dates with other men.
Say it, Queen. Say it.
States.
I
What
believe
other
in that
states
too.
they do? Go ahead, Courtney. Somebody was saying something.
I said I believe in that too, and I think that's one of those things that we also need to teach. Don't sit around waiting and hoping that you're just going to get this one type of man, because you might not find them that way. But there may be somebody right in front of you who can give you everything you need and want, but you're not looking at him because your mindset is on a certain type or a certain look or a certain whatever. And that's when we really hurt ourselves. So I agree with what you're saying with that.
Yeah, dust them passports off, get you some Queen Sheba flip flops, pack your damn bags, and let that man whisk you all around the world, make you do what it do, and drink you a nice glass of champagne. I can show you better than I can tell you. I know I love talking my shit. Give me
Oh,
one.
Queen Sheba, can I say one thing to her?
Yes,
I
yes.
just thought about something she was saying about, oh, of course they want to cut the grass when I get on here. So sorry for the noise. But I was thinking about what she said, and I want to tell her, you be proud of who you are today and that you did hold out through those parties or whatever the circumstances. Because one thing you don't have those mental distress of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or somebody mistreating your body, somebody not taking you as the woman you are. Hold on. Don't feel bad about it. Lift your head up, because a lot of us wish we didn't go to that party, or wish we didn't go on that date, and we ended up in another situation. So I just want to say I applaud you. I don't know how old you are, but I applaud you, and I hope you keep holding on until you find that king.
I agree. And thank you for sharing that, Dee Dee Star. And they're agreeing and amening in the chat. And listen, I'm serious. Y'all but not. Listen, let me find out. Y'all still doing the same thing next summer when it comes to booking flights and being open and trying something different on the menu. Listen, black men ain't the only ones that know how to do it good and do it well. And with that being said, let me go to my super.
I need $131. So I can go ahead and pay for my phone bill online instead of going into the store and paying it. If y'all don't support me, if y'all don't, you know what I'm saying, then that's okay. I'ma just not even ask anymore. I'ma just not even be on Instagram. Y'all not gonna hear from me ever again. Y'all not gonna hear from me no more.
Listen, Glam Rock said, "Oh my God, I have never dated outside of my race. Girl, look at all these beautiful black women. Eve, um, Megan, what's her name? The girl that married the prince, or what's that girl's name? I forgot her name. All of these beautiful black women getting treated right. Now, I ain't saying that a black man won't treat you right. I'm just saying don't spend a lot of time sitting around and waiting, because love is love. A good old time is a good old time. And I can have a good old time, and you can have a good old time without having to date a nigga with 4 or 5 baby mamas. You see what I'm saying? And go home and sleep in peace with the fan on. That's all I'm saying. Don't limit yourself when it comes to that. And I know it tends to be a little bit taboo for some, but don't let them trick you out of your spot, because they out here doing the damn thing when it comes to other races. They're out here exploring the menu. So you can too. That's all I'm saying. Layla Noke. Is it Layla Noke with a 20 piece and a pepper says, "What's up, family? Peace and love." Peace and love to you. Thank you for coming through the palace. But listen, real quick before we wrap up, panel, what are y'all's thoughts about, even as a woman, have you ever considered dating outside of your race? Or is it important for you? Or is it important for you to have a black man? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. Since I've had two that look like me, I've decided it is time for me to look outside my own race. I'm too old to have children, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm gonna give it a try, because I've had men of other races. Is that me? You hear static?
Say it again. You were muffled. You were muffled on on the last part.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I said I've had two that look like me, so I've decided that when I'm ready, if if I ever get remarried or whatever, that I'm going to date outside my race.
All right. I love it. I say live your life. The review hour. You heard the question. I'm putting y'all on the spot today. Shoot. Have you ever considered, or is it important to you that your man is black?
I did, I do, and I'm happy as can be. um, I've dated back when I was in the dating game and was available. I dated only black men, and uh, and I love black men because my father is black, my son is black, my brother is black. So there's no negativity toward that. But I had to get out of that, like I would only date within my race. You just have to just start thinking of yourself a part of the human race. Um, my sweetheart that I'm with right now treats me like the black queen that I am. I didn't get that treatment. And that's not to say that black men won't treat their women like queens, because, like I said, my dad was black and he treated my mom like a queen. I'm just saying that don't waste your years waiting on a black man to come and treat you as you deserve to be treated. There are so many other men outside of your race that are willing to do that. And I have no regrets. And it does not change my uh, outlook, my feelings about black men, you know, at all, you know, at all. But I do know that, don't waste your life and your time trying to wait on one race of men, or a man from one race to come and
Mm,
uh, fulfill your needs. You'll waste your whole life doing that.
come on, you better preach. And she said what she said. And listen, don't nobody have to defend what they saying up here, and just reassure everybody that black men are good. We grown, we talking. It's grown folks talk on Saturday. I'ma ask you, Courtney, kicking it with Courtney. When it comes to dating outside your race. Now, if you knew then what you know now, you good to go. You waiting on your does he have to be black, or would you be open to dating other races?
Right now, I'm starting to like consider it, but I'm still honestly, I'm still like I love black men. But that's nothing against anyone else though, because I embrace what anybody wants for themselves. But just for me right now, I'm starting to look a little bit, but I haven't dated outside of my race. I haven't.
I don't know why I'm smiling. Courtney, why you talking? But I'm
Hey,
starting.
look, a year from now, Queen, we're gonna be talking, and you never know. You just never know.
Never know. Be
Hey,
open.
Queen Sheba.
Ma'am.
Hey, this is Erica. Well, I said my real name. This is the review hour. I just want to say right quick. And I don't want to put out there as if um, men outside of our race are the only men that can treat us well. That I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm trying to say that white men, Hispanic men, Asian men, they have their own behavior problems, just like men in the black race. That's why I said we're all part of the human race. It's just that we're all the same. So don't waste your years waiting on one particular man from a certain race to treat you right. You might as well go ahead and get out there and look for, not look for, but meet a man that will treat you right, who happens to be a part of whatever race, that they are a part of. And that's
I
it.
understood what you were saying. That's why I came back and said we don't have to qualify what we're saying.
Yeah.
Because if anybody's looking in it for any fault in what anybody's saying out there, that's because that's what they're looking for. We're just having grown folks talk on Saturday, right? Before we go and just enjoy our weekend. And I think it's okay. And you know what? I'm a double down. From my experience, I've met some great black guys all through my life. I've dated white, black, not Asian though, white, black, Hispanic, and that's it. And biracial. Now, I've met some great black men, but they have often been distracted with, like that man say, hoeing. Let's talk about it. Hoeing. On the flip side, I've had great experiences with them until it comes down to, all right, you know what, and all right is creating a village, settling down. And I just think that a particular group of men, black men, like their options, period, point blank, whether they tell you or not. Oftentimes you fuck around and you find out. Not all, most. Okay. Number two, I've had some of the best experiences with men outside of my race, honey, even if it was just for today. You get what I'm saying? Some of the best fun experiences. That's the second thing. The third things, men outside of my race have often tend to, when they are serious, they're 1,000% focused on you as a woman and family. And they are embedded and they already come having a sense of family, having a sense of togetherness, having a sense of teamwork. That's all I'm saying. Dee Dee Star, what are your thoughts?
You know what? If you would have asked me this in my 20s, I would have said only a black man. And why I say that is because this white guy liked me a lot, and I just couldn't do it just because of how I thought it looked. But now that I'm in my, and I got married young, but now that I'm over 50, if something happened, me and my husband, we've been together 25 years, love him, everything. But I'm not going to say no more that I would not date outside if I wasn't with my husband. Because now I understand and I'm paying attention. I have friends that have interracial relationships, and I'm looking at their relationships, and I just see some of the differences between the black families that I grew up knowing compared to what we're seeing today. So my thought process has definitely changed. But my husband and I, we talk about this a lot. You know, we laugh about what would we do, you know, if one of us unfortunately wasn't here, you know. And my daughter said she don't care because she don't want nobody else. So that's another conversation. But yeah, that's how I feel. I would date outside if I had the opportunity again.
I know that's right. Thank you for sharing and keeping it 100% real. Julie Land, what are your thoughts?
What was the question one more time? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, the question was, should black women date outside of their
No,
race?
no, it's just like you as an individual. Like I think the question I posed was now, where you are in life when we think about love and everything that we say we're wanting. Are you waiting for a black man? Does your love and whomever you're open with or open for, does he have to be black? Are you open when it comes to love? What are your
Gotcha.
thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I personally think that black women should have abandoned black men a long time ago, because black men do not restrict themselves when it comes to dating. But as black women, we have loyalty to black men. And I understand why, because we birthed them, we raised them. But I think we have a lot to offer. We're leading the charts when it comes to education and entrepreneurship. And I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by not opening up, our options, whether that is another race, another culture. Yeah, definitely. Oh, and I think the bigger question is that as Black women, are we doing the work to gain the cultural capital to be able to date outside of our race and our culture? So that's what I think.
Oh, that's some good stuff you just laid out. I'll say this before I go to So Crafty Lion or I think Cinnamon. I'm not sure if you went, but I'm coming that way to the top row.
I
Also,
did. I went.
okay, then I'll go to So Crafty Line. Also, and this is not a crapping party, y'all. We just talking, just like the men talk. When Casey came up here and he said, listen, men have these conversations all the time. They do. I will say this. I was talking to a homeboy that I went to high school with. He's a barber. And we be talking every now and then when we talk. And we were just talking about love and black men and women. And I said, sometimes it just feels so harsh, right? When I'm thinking about how we treat each other, how we talk to each other. And he's like, well, that worked both ways. I said, but in your opinion, if you had to tell the truth and your homeboys ain't listening, are black men harsh towards black women? He said, most times, yeah. Most times, yeah. Now, taking all of that into consideration, I think based on what I've seen and what I've witnessed from my experience, men of other races don't tend to have a problem with the Black woman just being Black
Exactly.
and her persona and her being gifted where she's gifted and her being good at the things that she's good at. That's not a threat to him because most of them had men in the home that helped them establish their masculinity, where they were not competing with the feminine energy that they were seeking to marry or become one with. But let me pause, child, before I go down a rabbit hole. So Crafty Lion, what are your thoughts?
I never thought about it when I was younger. I didn't have a problem with it because on my father's side of the family, it's extremely diverse. So it's something that I'm used to seeing. But right now, I would date somebody purple with green stripes. If they made me happy, I don't really care what other people think. I'm very strong-willed that way. You don't like it, don't sit at my table. So I'm totally okay with it.
That
You
sounds
know,
like a noun later. Purple with green stripes.
that's kind of my thing I go to when I don't care about something, but I'm totally okay with it as long as they make me happy. They treat me the way I know I'm supposed to be treated and I deserve to be treated. Respect me. I'm good. Color's not an issue. I'm good. So I say it, but I say it.
Yep. Vanessa Stevens says, I work in white and Black clubs, and white men don't disrespect their women like Black men do. Oh, that's a whole other different conversation. Jessica, Jessica, I think you're the last one. What are your thoughts?
Oh, hi, Queen. Thank you for you and that other caller who spoke after I spoke. I very appreciate it, and blessings to both of you. Personally, I never pictured myself with anybody other than a Black man. Like growing up, you have your fairy tale dreams. By this age, you're going to do this. However, like the previous caller said, at this point, I'm like, Lord, whatever you want for me, that's what I want. I want you to make me want what you want. No, nothing. I don't want my will anymore. So, but the guy I previously dated, he was a white guy, but he had his own issues. That's why that didn't work out. However, like I've always dreamed of marrying a Black man because I feel like my fear is I don't want to explain, in essence, like the plight of being a Black woman. Or if I see something messed up online, Trump say something stupid, I don't want to be the one having to explain why I'm pissed off, if that makes sense. However, I'm asking the Lord to guide me and make me, I want his will. So like you said when you asked the question, you said, what if this other race man could be like your knight in shining armor, all your dreams could come true. The only difference is he's not a Black man, he's an Asian man or whatever. And I like that. I just want to be happy.
Now, Jessica, you do know there are Black male Trump supporters, right?
Yes, ma'am. I know. However,
Girl.
I know, no, I know. But it's just like I feel like I want God to, when I meet somebody, I'm discerning, I'm asking all the right questions. Because another fear, and I know it's like irrational to have it, but like I don't want a Risa Tisa situation. And like in the beginning, he did everything right, was saying everything. And granted, there were pink flags, red flags, and I think my fear is now like, Lord, what's happening? Like, come on. But no, I know what you mean. Like, I feel like if I talk to somebody, because like my best friend's husband, he's like a turning Republican now, and I had to get him together a couple weeks ago. But it's like I don't really want that argument with my spouse. I want us to be like-minded and have the same beliefs. I don't want to sit there and go like, well, Trump is right. No, the hell he wasn't. But
Have you been married before,
no,
Jessica?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Girl. Anybody else on the panel married or have been married before?
I'm married.
I am.
I am.
Good luck with that. Y'all tell her
I
good luck.
know.
Not now.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation on another Saturday.
Jessica, literally, most times you're going to find somebody that's probably opposite of you, even if they are the same race, by way of personality, demeanor, beliefs. It's for me, that's been my experience. Anybody else?
Yes,
Yep.
that's been my
Yep. I
Totally
married my
different.
complete opposite.
They are complete opposites, and even
Mhm.
if you want to gel with them to be like-minded, it seems like that makes it worse sometimes. So you just let that person be who they are and you who you are, and then you come together in the middle, and that's what makes it work.
and you never let politics come between you and your relationship. Never.
Mhm.
If they don't believe the way that you do, it's their belief that goes back. We're all, even though you're married or you're with someone, you're individuals. And so everyone has the right to believe the way they believe, as long as it's not harming someone else or, being degrading to someone else. So you have to kind of get yourself in pocket at that point. Say, hey, I believe the way that I believe, because it can change. You can start off believing and having the same beliefs, and on down the road in a marriage, things can change. But you don't leave that person because they changed. Because that's an individual and they have that right, in my opinion.
I
You know,
agree.
I appreciate y'all because you actually have me really thinking like what's more important. Does he treat me right, but he's a Republican or whatever? I just need the Lord to work on me to get me to stop being so like fairy
Rigid
tale minded, if that makes sense.
or
And,
rigid.
Yes, yes.
and another thing to think about too, one thing I appreciate about my husband, we are total opposites. I'm very spontaneous, an entrepreneur type, all kind, and he wants to know where his check coming from. He wants to work regular. He's got a really straight laced mind. But what I love about our relationship for me is he brings out the best in me. He's my biggest cheerleader. He wants to see me do my best at all times. Even when I don't feel my best, he's telling me, well, I thought you said you were going to do this or that. So that's what you want. You want someone who's going to help build you up and make you be the best woman you can be, because your spouse is your complement. You complete each other and you complement each other. And if you think about it that way, instead of all those little differences,
Yeah.
because it's going to be a lot of those that come up.
And it will be. Dee Dee, you laid that out so beautifully. Um, I got married a little bit later in life. I'm glad I did. Oh, I'm glad I did. Cause baby, I would have been divorced. Cause now that I look at the woman that I've morphed into, I wasn't ready even when I thought I was for a husband. You get what I'm saying? And you know how you be in a whatever state of mind. No, I'm ready. I'm ready. I was not. I thought I was, but I am your husband, Dee Dee. That's my personality. And my husband is you. He's extremely spontaneous. I'm not. I like to plan everything. I mean, even to the point where he'll want to ride the motorcycle, and I'm like, I'll follow behind you in the car. That's how rigid I am.
See, we
But
would be good friends. I drive my husband crazy because he don't know from one day to the next. He's like, "Oh, okay, is that what we doing?" And he'll say, "Go ahead, do what you're gonna do, and I'll see you when you get back." So,
yeah,
but that allows me. I couldn't have a husband that was sitting there like, "You have to be this way or that way." I would be so depressed in the bed. So we all need a variety in our life, and I just want her to, think outside the box. You might need something total opposite for you to really be happy.
Can I say something?
I wrote down a list. One
Oh,
thing I did put, y'all, I know this sound old school, but there are a couple of things that were important to me. And don't laugh. One thing I did write down, I want a man that knows how to glass a nice glass of wine. That was so important to me because I developed a palate for wine when I traveled all around the world. And a lot of people that I met, I was like, well, you know what? And date. So even those kind of things, I don't know. It sounds childish, but there are certain things that you got to have. I don't know about the politics because most times when you get your mate, you're probably going to be so different anyway. They have their own ideology, their own thoughts. The beauty is to bring it together because you become a force to be reckoned with. I want to read off one comment real quick I saw. Oh, I hope I saved it. It was good. I hope I saved it. If not, damn, I didn't save it. But whoever wants to jump in, let me go look for that comment while you all talk.
yeah. What I wanted to say was to the lady that asked the question, but I've been with my husband for almost 10 years now, and we are the complete opposite. When I tell you complete opposite, like introvert, extrovert, like if I like something cold, he likes something hot. But one of the things that I know that is very important, you just kind of want to make sure that you guys have you both have the same values and have the same morals. Like if you have those two things, then you should be okay. Oh, and make sure he loves you more than you love him. Don't ask me why, but I think that's how it works. So that's what I would say. Same morals, same values, and of course have the love.
I agree.
I agree too. Listen, Look, that's that's behind the wall. We can talk about that behind the wall because
Look, I
people ain't
gotta get
gonna
behind the wall when we having these kind of conversations
and
because
look,
that
they
is
ain't gonna
so
understand
serious.
that,
Well,
right?
because if your husband don't love you more than we love regardless. But one thing about a man, if he's selfish and he only love himself first, whoo, he gonna put you behind on everything, and that
Yeah.
feeling right there is no
Yeah.
joke.
One
So
thing
every woman should be looking for a man who love them down, and
That's
then
one
you
thing
gonna
my
love
mom told me.
Yes, I
So one
agree.
thing she drilled into me since I was a little kid, she said, "Make sure he loves you more than you love him." It's because women, like male, it's because women we're gonna give back whatever we receive anyways. So we're gonna love our husbands no matter what. But men are more prone to be have self preservation. So yeah, but anyways, like you say, this is a whole nother conversation. But let me shut up.
Boy, and some people listen, a lot of people can't handle that truth. I'm gonna have to third that a notion. I know Dee Dee Star second that a notion, but that ladies, what do you think about that? About having a man that loves you more than you love him? What comes to mind? How does that feel? Wrong, manipulative, i-
And
im- imbalanced, imbalanced? What are your thoughts for those of you that are kind of taking it all in on the panel?
I've heard
No,
before. This is the review hour. I've heard that saying before, but for myself, my thing has always been to have someone in my life to reciprocate the love that I give. So you don't have to love me more than I love you because I'm not going to love you more than I love myself. The thing is, I want, when I give my love freely from my heart, I want you to reciprocate that. And so if you reciprocate that, it's going to either be the same or more, in my opinion.
Mhm. Courtney.
well, as a single dating woman, divorced, I think that that is great advice. I would definitely, but for me, just to be honest, somebody said it earlier. I don't remember who it was that was saying, basically saying like we put a lot of emphasis on love, and that's not what it's all about. And I can agree with that too. So I would say, I prefer someone that would love me. I don't even, to be honest, I don't know if I'm capable of a whole lot of, just love, that crazy and love type stuff right anymore.
I feel you, Courtney. When I
Yeah.
met my husband, extremely attractive. And when we started hanging out, what made me fall, I was like, damn, he's attractive, but typically he wouldn't be my type. Um, and I'm following you, Courtney. I know exactly what you mean. I
Hey,
think
I may not be saying it correct, but like, I'm just not it there's I want to wholly give myself to my husband, but I don't have the vulnerability. Like I don't know how to articulate it,
well,
but I just don't have
okay,
it.
I'm following you
Hmm.
because sometimes life done whooped your ass and took you through some stuff.
Yes,
And you
yes,
tired.
yes,
You ain't even mad or irritated, you just tired. It's like,
exactly.
baby, I'm a flower, but you know what? It's gonna take a while for me to bloom. But I guarantee you, one thing I can guarantee you, your husband will water you and you will bloom. He will bring back your softness, your beauty. Girl, you be giggling, laughing at shit that ain't funny.
Oh,
Uh,
I love you, Queen.
I promise you, he will bring out the best in you. Shit that you thought, whoa, you be overlooking stuff to my shore, Grace, and over some stuff that you would have threw hands on. And they just bring out the best in you. And it starts by way of them being consistent. How do you know? He's gonna be consistent. A call means I'll call. I'm coming to pick you up means I'm coming to pick you up. And they show up over and over. Consistency. That's probably the number one thing that I can share with y'all. Anybody else want to jump in?
I was just gonna agree. That's why I was saying what I said before, because I've been through a lot in my life, and my husband was the favorite out of his family. So we were from two different worlds. But one thing he helped me with is to open up and to really understand that I could feel love, seriously feel love. And it took some years for me to get it. And I could just say this one thing. This is funny. When we first got married, I used to argue with him just because I wasn't used to a quiet house. And it never made sense to me how a person can sit in the house and just be quiet and watch TV. And that's because I grew up in a very volatile, tumultuous house. And I didn't realize that I was crazy for that. I really thought that's how I was supposed to be. And my husband was like, one day he just looked at me and said, why can't we just sit down and be quiet? Why can't we? I didn't know how to do that. So that's just one of those things that when you get married and it's the right person, they teach you little things that you really don't even know about yourself. I didn't know that that's really how I felt, but I knew that's what I needed. When I was arguing with him, I would just break out in an argument for the dumbest stuff. But he was so nice about it and sweet about it. Now I know I got on his nerves, but he never came back at me because he understood who I was. So he explained it to me, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of crazy. Why am I arguing with him for nothing? Because he's quiet watching TV. But I thought he was supposed to be up doing what I'm doing. So, you get all of those, and like what I hope I'm not rambling, but you get all those little things in being married. And that's why marriage is such a sacred thing, because your person is your person. They'll understand you, you get to understand them. And when it's right, and you don't have to worry about the rest.
I agree. Deborah Valentine, what you bring into the conversation, Queen?
Well, oh, hello everyone. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why my Bluetooth won't pick up. Probably because I went in there to get that cheesecake that I had no business with, but that's my business. But anyway, I was gonna say I am open to any race now. My requirements are what they would be for anybody. I had those, gotta have your money, your credit, all that kind of stuff. Love God, be faithful, all those things. But when I was younger, I would not date outside of my race. Now I am open. I really am. I don't care. I'm at the age now, where I'm looking to be able to have someone to travel with, do things with, enjoy retirement life. That's what I'm interested in. So yeah, I would totally date outside of my race now. I would. I would. I don't care what color he is, as long as he, treats me right and, be respectful, and my grandchildren like him, then he's got a good chance. The other thing I want to say is, so Queen, I just want to say something. Are we gonna act like we did not see the picture of you with somebody put in the chat, the body yaddy or whatever you call it? You looked absolutely fabulous. Whoever your trainer was, they did a wonderful job with you. So I just wanted to give you your props. That picture is, yeah, girl, you were fire. So I just wanted to say that and tell everybody to have a lovely day. I was out making me some money, but I'm ready to go home, put my feet up, and look at TV.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're
Listen,
welcome.
thank you for coming up and sharing and just being so sweet and kind and complimenting. I did that shit to talk shit to let old boy know, baby, I've been popping before YouTube. You just
Listen, anybody who's spent 10 minutes with you, not even 10, would know that. He's just over there being petty and immature and stuff, and just needs to go, pray. But we're not gonna worry about him. That picture looked good, and I'm glad you posted it. It's inspiration for all of us. So yeah. The baddie was, as they say, the young people, body yaddy yaddy, girl, you go, girl. But anyway, everybody have a lovely day. I'm gonna drop back in the bushes.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go to. I
Take
got a
care.
super chat. Y'all give me
I'll
one
see you
second.
tomorrow.
Can't you get it through your thick skull that I'm broke? Dead, flat, stony, broke. See? I've got $3.85 in my purse.
Oh no.
Got too many people watching me. Bye.
All right, yes, baby. 41 Fit coming through with a 50 piece and a pepper. She says, towards that charcuterie board for the queen, jumping back in the bushes. We appreciate you, 41 Fit. And baby, trust and believe I'm gonna make real good use out of it today. I wanted to get to this comment, y'all. And Dorothy, I see you backstage. I'm about to bring you up here in a second. Listen, I wanted to get to this comment. I found it. It's from B1963. B1963 says, "Hey, Queen Sheba, I'm real late. However, I'm waiting on God to send who he has for me. It doesn't matter the race, but I'm a little afraid to date outside of my race, but I will trust God." Let me say this, ladies. Listen, life don't owe me nothing. I swear to God. I tell my husband, I've been popping before I met you. And when I say popping, confident, full of self-esteem, full of life. God gave it to me. Nobody can take it away. And I have lived an amazing life. And all I can hope is God he allows me to continue to do so. Now, let me tell y'all something, ladies. The quickest way to meet a man and open up the portal is to become physically active. Men are physical creatures. I'm not talking about BBLs and being six-pack, physically active. Go into places where you would have to be physically active. Number one, start walking your dog. Number two, parks, riding bikes, skating, physical activity, gym, anything. Listen, I am unique. Say, where do you be finding them clips? Girl, I got a storehouse. Physically active. That's the quickest way to attract a man. Even the ones you don't like, because they not going to come knock on your door. I swear to God, they not coming knocking on your door. Most of them are not in a grocery store. And if they are, it's because their wives have sent them to pick up something real quick. Okay. The quickest way to attract a man and open up your world is to become physically active. Baby, I don't care if you go for a 5-minute walk every day. Build it, build it, build it. That's all I got to say. Anybody has any thoughts to that before I go to Dorothy? All right. Then I'll go to Dorothy. Dorothy, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hi, Queen. Hello.
Hey, hey, hey. You got
You
the
can hear me.
Yep.
You know
Well,
I was just kidding about your dog, right?
girl, that's you. Dorothy called my dog. What you call my dog?
A mutt. I called it a mutt. But I was just kidding about your dog. I see you getting down with your wine, but I just want to say, have a wonderful Saturday. And you know the best way to find your man and your do other, go to the pool and put on that one piece or that bikini and throw that ass in a circle and ask him to help you swim.
I love you, Dorothy. Thank you for coming up, girl. You
What
cute.
I said, what I said.
All right, Terry Heights.
Y'all have a good Saturday.
Okay, you too. Thank you,
Bye
Queen.
bye.
All right, y'all, we're going to wrap up. Final thoughts. Final thoughts, panelists. What are your final thoughts? What are you taking away and or leaving? She say, throw that ass in a circle this Saturday. Listen, Dorothy does not play, honey. I love her sense of humor. She's always bringing it. Um, Panelists, what are your final thoughts when it comes to today's conversation? What are you leaving and or taking away? I'll start with you, Steffi.
Queen, you can skip me and go to somebody else right now.
Okay, all right. Let's go with Dorothy. Final thoughts, Dorothy. What you want to leave us with? Child, Dorothy got the fan on in the background. Let's go to the review hour.
Oh, okay. I guess I would say you had mentioned that you had a list and what your list, what was on your list when you were dating, what you wanted, and mine was for one of the things was for mine to be kind, and I got that along with some other things too. But I will say, if someone is out there, regardless of the race, as far as in the dating field, make sure because it's not going to always be good. There are going to be some sick days, some some sad days, as well as happy days. So make sure that you watch how they are, with their family, and to make sure because when those sick days come, you want to make sure that somebody's going to be in your corner, even if they have to wipe your butt. If you get sick. So, you need to look at all of that thing because it's not always going to be, happy and going out to the best restaurants and, just all things good. It's not going to be that way. So you have to look at that too. So it's not all about race, or you want to get someone that is a good person inside out, inside out. So for those that are looking, make sure you keep that in mind, because just as sure as I'm sitting here, those bad times and sick times will come. You better make sure that it's someone that has that character that's going to, you know, really stand behind you and be there for you.
I agree. Awesome advice. Let's go to So Crafty Lion.
Um, Today was, I'm not married. I don't have kids. So today was more of a listen and learn day for me. Listen, learn, observe, and respect. And I think everybody gave good conversation and I appreciated it.
Thank you. As always, we appreciate you pulling up So Crafty Lion. Let's go with Dee Dee Star.
You know what, Queen? I miss you.
Then
I
your
used to
husband
come
found
on
out
your
where you
panel a while
been.
ago, and I haven't been I think it's almost been a year since I've really been around, but this is what I love. These are the greatest conversations ever. And if I leave with anything, my advice to anyone looking for someone, I'm a very serious person. However, you have to have fun too. Don't forget that part of it. Meet somebody, let somebody love you and have fun with them, because a lot of times we just talk about the difficult things. And I love what Review Hour was saying. I second everything she was saying. But with us, we sometimes we get a little too serious in life, and I'm saying this because I am that person. But my on that side, my husband is the opposite. I tell him he live on the sunny side of the street. I'm in the yellow lane trying to make it to his side of the street, so I'm a work in progress. So just that's what you need, though. We need to be happy in our relationship, whoever they are, what color they are. Have fun and enjoy your life. I appreciate what you said about your travels and everything you had done before you got married. A lot of times we don't get to do that as women. So I advise all of that. Whatever you can take from this conversation to enhance your life, please do it. And just live, live, live. That's all.
I agree, Dee Dee. I agree. Steffi, 1961, you got next. And Steffi probably can't talk, so we'll end with Courtney and we'll drop down. All right, Courtney, take us home.
Okay, so I've been waiting on my moment to take us on out.
Yes.
I just want to say, Queen, above all else, before I get to what I'm leaving with and taking away, above all else, I just want to say thank you for being you. I really don't want to say what you did to bless my soul, because I genuinely come over here because I genuinely appreciate you and the advice you give and the way that you've structured the palace. I love you for real. But you blessed my soul this week. And you didn't have to. You never have to extend yourself to another person. And you just blessed my soul this week. And I just thank you for just being you and being, a real one. So I appreciate you. And again, I don't really necessarily want to say what it was, because, I'm not trying to bring attention to myself. I just want you to receive your flowers, and just thank you for being selfless and just, I just love you, so I wanted to say that.
So let me pause, because I know I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds, because I still want you to take us home, and I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna let Dorothy talk, but I still want you to take us home. First of all, y'all, I have my husband told me, oh my God, he said, not everybody gets you because you are so everything that they see. Either they like it or they hate it. He said, but I love it. He said, but the ones that are able to get you, we have a great time. We love, we laugh. He said, but you're direct. You're not going to let anything that's not right fly by. And some people have a problem with that, because they want you to pretend that you didn't see it, you didn't feel it, you didn't hear it. He said, and that's why we love you. And it's funny, because the day Courtney is complete, I think you're opposite of me. Courtney is very
I am.
observant. She's a fly. Listen, she is there, but she's watching. And I would talk, And in my head, it was a joke and nobody was laughing. I would hear a burst of laughter. And I'm like, who is that? And it would be Courtney laughing. And I'm like, you have gotten me over and over without judgment, over and over. And that's always been a breath of fresh air for me. And then I think you're a Capricorn, right?
I am. I'm a
Yeah,
Capricorn.
that's my compliment. Two strong forces, but it's a compliment to my Scorpio-ness. So I've always enjoyed you. I admire your quiet strength. You are a girl's girl. Period, point blank. I can feel that. I see it. And the other night when I stopped by, it was you, Dee Dee Star. I think it was L'Oreal and somebody else.
Lala.
Listen, that they were up late, y'all. And I was on YouTube. That was one of the best conversations I've heard in YouTube, I'm gonna say in the past 6 months. And it was a small panel. That was one of the best, the realest ass conversations I heard in YouTube. And I had to click the link. When was the last time you see me click the link? On it, that conversation, I said, now this is real, this is going somewhere. Because it's real, it's genuine. They not putting on. Y'all gave some real life ass talk. And I want to bless your channel. And I'm going to tell people, if you haven't already, go kick it with Court. Go kick it with Court. Y'all wasn't looking for, y'all was grown ass women. And I was like, you two need more of this. It was grown ass women, unfiltered, having grown ass talk. And it was good. And I stayed up late.
And I just want to say, Queen, I never wanted to use your platform to like try to get subscribers because I don't tell people I really have a channel. I've never really even told you like I have a channel. I know you probably noticed my name changed.
I didn't know you had one.
I don't tell people. And I don't want, I never wanted it to feel like I was coming up here to try and get people. I just genuinely enjoy you. That's why I really didn't even want to say what it was, but I wholeheartedly just really truly appreciate who you are. Like you are who you say you are. It's no gimmicks, it's no extra stuff. And like I said, you don't have to. You're not obligated to. You don't have to. So I just really want you to receive your flowers, how you stand up for women, even the way you go hard for Melody as a supporter, the way you go hard for people in the palace, the way you unselfishly give to others. So I just always want you to know that, you're a real one. I from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. And again, this, it's never to come over here for anything other than you've built something amazing. And I just want you to receive your flowers for that.
Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it, for real, for real. And if you can, please drop your page in the chat so that they can go over there. It's good. I'm not gonna lie, it's good. And I've gotten in trouble for being real. I've gotten in trouble for not doing what people think I should do and say. I move at my own speed because when I do it, I want it to be genuine and not put on. And that's what you, Dee Dee Star, and L'Oreal and Lala was doing the other night. It wasn't no putting on. I was like, damn, this is a good ass conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in being genuine and authentic, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And a lot of people don't like that about me. You know what I'm saying? I become the bad guy, but I'm grateful that in your book and in your kingdom and with your court, I'm a good character. So I appreciate you,
Queen. And I really don't have any. I just want to tell everybody on the panel, I'm a person that I love to debate. Like I've been debating since I was young. I love to debate. So y'all don't ever take my passion for, I hope it's never taken as disrespect, because I love other people's perspective. I love people thinking for themselves. I love people standing on what they said. I just like that type of banter. And I just appreciate Queen for having a panel that's always diverse and everybody speaks their piece and everybody stands on their piece. And I appreciate that we have somewhere to come and, bounce off of each other, learn, grow. Sometimes we're stuck in our ways, but we're always having teachable moments and we can learn and grow with each other. And so that's what I was taking away from today. I love everybody's perspective. I thank y'all for always, opening up and sharing. And thank Queen for the platform.
Thank you. Thank you. Dorothy, I'm gonna come back to you, Courtney, in a second. Dorothy, what are you leaving and or taking away from today's conversation?
Queen, I'm giving you the whole flower shop, not just your flowers. I'm giving you the whole flower shop. And ladies, I just want y'all to know, Keep moving even if you're standing still. I mean, Queen, I have no worries, no problems, nothing in the world because God has been really good to me. But I just love coming up here. I just love listening to your podcast. I just love your channel. It's because what you dishing out, I share unbelievably with anyone that's in my circle. I share the thoughts. I have them listening to you. And they was like, are you still listening to Queen Sheba? I say, yes. And if you listen, you can learn something. You could really learn something if you listen to these podcasts and you listen to some of these ladies. They was like, well, why you listen to it? I say, it's because it's good to me. And I'm learning each day. I feel as though I met each and every one of you. And I said what I said. And I do hope y'all have a good Saturday. And we're going to watch Terry Heights and them tonight get down at 8 o'clock.
Hold on. I accidentally turned on.
Huh?
I accidentally turned on Courtney's on your page. Well, thank you so much, Dorothy, for standing on business. But I accidentally turned on Courtney's music or something. But I'm gonna drop her link real quick, y'all, for her page. Hold on, I want to make sure I
Oh,
do
so
the
you
right.
ain't hear nothing I said?
Girl, I heard you. And I said, thank you. I love you.
You want to hear them, Terry?
Y'all have a good day.
Shit, Dorothy say you ain't finna do me like that. Yes, Terry Heights. We're gonna watch Terry Heights in the building. Dorothy's from Huntsville, Alabama, y'all. Her and Martell from the same place. And Dorothy be in my chat talking shit. And I don't mind that. I'm like Courtney shit. I love talking shit. But unfortunately, listen, it stays here on the panel with me. You see, Dorothy got on my DM and called my dog a mutt. And that was, to me, that's hilarious. Like, I don't know. I got thick skin.
That's what I think. I think, we on the panel, we talking, it gets passionate. But after the panel is over, for me, it's like,
Me too. Me too. But listen, kicking it with Corey. Y'all gonna go over there and kicking it with Courtney now. I know sometimes she go in the morning. What time do you go in the morning, Courtney?
I do 10 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay. You got to start coming on in the evening. I think Dee Dee told
I
you
do.
that.
The evening was lit. I do have to do the evening. I do.
Start at least once a week with the evenings.
Yeah.
Cause that was lit, which y'all was over there doing. So I put the link. They subscribe. Make sure y'all show up with her conversations because they are
and make
so
sure y'all go
good.
see the video with Queen Sheba. That's the video I want y'all to see. Go see Queen Sheba get up there and do her amazing 1-2. Go watch Queen Sheba.
I probably was talking crap. I love talking shit. I'm sorry. I know y'all like me to be positive, but I'm a shit talker too. So I do that a lot here in the privacy of my own home. So I just like to have a good time. You remember we talked, I think Dee Dee said, you got to have a little balance and be spontaneous and be fun. But yeah, thank you everybody for just coming today and standing on business. What I said. It's been a phenomenal week. We've had some challenges, but listen, it ain't nothing that you can go up against that God will not help you navigate. Ain't nobody bigger than, all of this stuff that's happening is small to a giant. And you got to know that you're a giant in all of this. Period, point blank. And with that being said, thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Spread your wings and fly and have a little bit of fun. Be safe, but have a little bit of fun. All right. Thank you. Dee Dee said this has been a great conversation. I agree. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Stephanie, thank you for the 20-piece and a pepper. Came through with a super chat, baby, right before we close the gates of the palace. Tomorrow, do not forget, y'all. I've already told you, behind the wall, baby, we finna tear it up and have a good time. It is Sunday session. That's when the members, palace, whomever gets to call in, and then the priority panelists give their advice. Baby, we was on fire last Sunday. So we're going to see what we got coming through the lines tomorrow morning, 11:35 a.m. Central Standard Time. Classy, Sassy 411 says, Queen, I'm finding men 50 and over are still out here playing games. Listen, run fast. Make room. Make room for, if they're playing games, make room for the ones that are not. Do not put up with that crap. Glam Rock said, okay, I have to keep walking. Yes, and then get you a bike. when you tired of walking, mix it up, buy some skates off of Amazon, get cute. And ladies, once you start to build your confidence with your physical activity, order some cute workout clothes. Your belly ain't got to be hanging out, but order you some tights that's going to help your butt to sit up high. That's going to make your legs feel good. Start investing in your appearance and in your physical self. Let's see. What else? Oh, April says physically Home Depot is a magnet for men. Now make sure you go in there and you really need something out of there. Don't just be in there looking like a weirdo and a creepo. Make sure you in there because you really need nails and hammers and stuff like that. Letitia Hunt says she took her dog walking and met a new neighbor, and that's what it's about. Not necessarily dating, but just open up your world to the wonderful things around you. What do you think, Courtney?
Absolutely 100% agree with you. Like I said, I just listening to you speak earlier is opening up my mind to, just different, try something new. I don't want to be limited in what I'm, exploring and what I'm doing. So I think, and physical activity is I think that's definitely a great tip as well.
I agree. Dear Yvette, I didn't read this one. I was saving this one for last. She says, okay, Dear Yvette says, Queen, my mother hold on. Whew. Queen, my mother always told us don't F for free. Don't F for free. Even if you get a pack of hot dogs, you got something. So if that made us hoes, then so be it. Listen, what are your thoughts? I'm going to give that one to Courtney. We're going to kick it to Courtney.
Okay, so yeah, this one, I mean, I get it. I don't think any woman should date a man that can't do anything for her financially. I don't think women should date financially unstable men or any of that. But I also think that always having your hand out and you can't reciprocate anything, I don't think that that's, the way either. I'm not saying that young lady because she didn't, she was just speaking specifically on one thing. But like Destiny saying that she only dates men with money, that's fine. I get it. But are you a woman that has money? Are you a woman that has ambition? Are you a woman that can offer something, or you just always have your hand out? You give people the option to feed you, you'll give them the option to starve you. And that I can't get with that part.
Oh, that's a good one. And I'm gonna try to put a spin. I'm following you, dear Yvette, and I'm not gonna say I completely disagree, but this is what I would say: men that do not have the potential to take care of themselves first should not even have access to you. That's the first thing. They should not even have access to you because a man. Let me. One of the things I put on my list, in addition to a man that can enjoy a nice glass of wine. Let me tell y'all something, because I knew where I was headed with or without a husband. I knew that I would always live a great life because I was busy thinking about, like Dee Dee Star says, her husband is thinking about where's the next check, I've always been a planner and I've always planned for success. So I knew that I like wine, I like fine dining, I like gourmet olives. Yes, I do. From the olive bar in the grocery store and stuff like that. And I needed a man that wasn't going to come in my life and say, I ain't paying that for that. I ain't paying that for that. Well, you're going to have to do something because this is the life that I've been living, right? You're going to have to match my vibe. And one of the things that I put on my list is I wanted a man that liked himself. Let me say it again. I wanted a man that liked himself, because a man that likes himself is going to take good care of himself. He's going to take good care of his physical health, his mental health, and his spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I'm not necessarily talking about church. He's going to watch how he engage with other people because he like himself. You got a lot of angry ass men out here that don't like themselves. And as a result, you don't like me. So it's important to me. So I think when you find a man that likes himself, you're going to get a pack of hot dogs, if not better. Because he's going to treat you how he would like to be treated. You follow me, Courtney?
I am definitely picking up what you're putting down, Queen. I'm following you.
Yeah. A man that likes himself won't probably won't be around women that bring out the worst in him. Probably won't be around women that he couldn't treat nice without her trying to use him. So you don't have to worry about those hot dogs, dear Yvette, when you are with the man that likes himself. Because you're going to get a steak, you're going to get sushi, you can get 2 hot dogs. That's all I'm saying. I'm being funny, but seriously.
You teaching, Queen. You teaching a word for real.
Yeah. Get you somebody that look at Desi says, I love when you talk your shit all the time. Hang out with me. Let me get 2 mimosas in my system. Listen, for real. When you can tell if he likes himself. Feel his tone of voice. Can he make good eye contact with you? I know all of this stuff, y'all. So it ain't really. Yes, it is. If he can't even look at you, he can't look at himself. Like, I don't know. That's a whole different conversation. But with that being said, let me go ahead and get my butt off of here and enjoy this beautiful Saturday. And thank you for coming up, panelists. I really appreciate the thought leadership. Yep. DD Star says a man will give you more if he respects who you are. Yeah, and it all starts with him, to be honest with you. It all starts with him and how he likes himself. Now, he ain't going to treat every woman like that. But a man that likes himself, he's going to be very particular about who he spends his resources with or shares his resources with. So you're going to get them hot dogs. All right. Have a good one, everybody.